you were going down towards Cromania or something like that.
I do like the idea that you are sitting here though, and the golf course is just literally right there. It's just within touching distance. If you were living in this place.
I think a young Will Goodings would have invested in a Hessian sack.
You're right.
Like the kids down at Flagstaff Hill on that evil par 3 who'd go out. My cousin Mike used to do it. He'd go out and put on your snorkel and go out collecting balls and give them a wash at home and sell them for 50 cents each.
Someone asked on the text line whether we're broadcasting from on a toilet this morning. No, we don't do that.
No.
HR takes a really dim view of that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, they're down on that. That's on their long list of verboten activities. Acoustically...
not ideal.
This is a brand new home, very stark, very minimalist, and the acoustics with these wonderful high ceilings.
Beautiful.
Great place to live. Probably not a very good place to do an outside broadcast.
As we're discovering.
We're working on it now, folks. Bear with us, please.
We might take a quick break from Tea Tree Lane on this Wednesday, the 11th of June. Come back with
what we might, in all seriousness, try to do, if I could make the suggestion to the people back in Hindmarsh Square, I reckon the Aaron Phillips speech last night, one of the great speeches ever given at a sporting event. What has just happened in Saudi Arabia as well?
Yeah.
A very special... And I think a critic challenging result, given some of the things that have been said about the new Socceroos coach
Tony Popovich, totally.
4 wins in a row. Maybe let's just play audio of the Aaron Phillips speech and the Socceroos win for the next 2.5 hours, and Will and I will sit here talking amongst ourselves.
I think you
because this is a shambles.
We're a feedback program, and the feedback is coming in. We might take a break, and we'll be back shortly.
All right, that'll be absolutely diddly squat.
Woohoo! Buy any vehicle from Suzuki in the city before June 30 and you could win an entire year of groceries from Foodland. T's and C's apply. Licence number T25707. Driven by Australian Motors.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Remember the last time you had stomach pain? Now imagine having that pain all day, every day. Around 1 in 5 people, yes, 1 in 5, suffer from constant and debilitating abdominal pain from forms of irritable bowel syndrome and endometriosis. Thankfully, SAMRI are finding ways to block the pain, and you can play a part in their research simply with a donation. Give and take the pain away at samri.org.au.
Our place is your place at the Albion Hotel. A big birthday? Catch up with friends? A casual get-together with good company? Or maybe you're planning something bigger, a special function, a milestone celebration, or a corporate gathering. Whatever the reason, celebrate it at the Albion. And for freebies, cheeky deals, and insider perks, download the Albion Hotel loyalty app. It's happy hour all day, every day. The Albion Hotel. Your local, your people, your place.
Who can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
With thousands of positive reviews, it's no wonder that Service Today is the most recognised and respected home service company rated by Australians. Our licensed technicians can help with all your plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling and home security needs. So when you need reliable home services, at Service Today, the answer will always be, yes we can. Yes we can is what we say at Service Today. Google Service Today to book one of our experts.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? Well, if not, speak with the team at Louver House who'll transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof.
Packed with technology, a Louver House roof gives you control of natural light and airflow and will keep you dry with smart built-in rain sensors. Plus, you can use it night and day with options like LED lighting.
Based right here in SA, Louver House is a family-owned and operated business that handles the whole process from planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation.
Now, we've met Rod and his team just down the road from here. In fact, wonderful people, great family business. You'll have peace of mind that they do it right. If you want your outdoor area transformed with an opening and closing roof, and how's this, they'll be able to do it, ready for next summer. Call Louver House today for a free, no obligation design, measure and quote.
See the light with Louver House, louverhouse.com.au.
All right, so that'll be absolutely diddly squat. 0. Zilch. Nada.
Woohoo! Buy any new, used or demo vehicle from Wayville Hyundai before June 30 and you could win an entire year of groceries from Foodland on us. Groceries covered, car sorted, more money for what matters. Visit wayvillehyundai.com.au to find out more. T's and C's apply. Licence number T25707. Another great deal driven by Australian Motors.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
17 after 6. Apologise about the audio. We're going to make some attempts to improve things by 6:30 this morning. So bear with us. We've got our best people on the job. I tell you what, the very funny thing is our listeners are among the funniest people on planet Earth. The theories about from where we're broadcasting this morning, the bathroom, the shower, the stairwell,
a public toilet,
a rainwater tank.
Thank
you. We're not beyond being teased.
One quoting Bowie, "Are we floating in a tin can?" And thanks to Phil from Henley Beach, the name of the road I was trying to remember was Brebner Drive.
That's right, Brebner Drive.
The road that used to go past the shed.
All right, let's do some news headlines, and then we'll head back to Hindmarsh Square, where Tom Wren's going to take us through the magnificent Socceroos result this morning, and look ahead to the cricket tonight. 10 people have been killed and others injured when a gunman opened fire in a secondary school in Austria. Local police believe the suspected shooter was a 21-year-old former student. He was found dead in the bathroom by suicide. This witness has told Today students were terrified.
I saw a lot of students running everywhere and crying, and I went downstairs for a bit to check, and I saw like so many police and ambulance and people on the floor.
Just appalling, isn't it?
Just a shocking story. Just
unbelievable.
Awful.
So he's a former student.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's taken his own life. There's no motive that the Austrian police have revealed yet. They've confirmed that there's going to be a 3-day period of mourning, but you think about a country like Austria. It's not associated with anything like this, do you?
Not at all. It's incredibly safe, a beautiful country. US President Donald Trump says the National Guard and Marines will remain in Los Angeles until there is no longer any danger. Trump says LA would be burning to the ground if he hadn't sent troops to respond to protests downtown of the city against immigration raids.
If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals.
Erin Patterson has given evidence for a 6th day in the mushroom trial in Victoria. The accused triple murderer is disputing the testimony of several witnesses today. The trial continues.
6 days.
She's been in this. Yeah, she's been in the dock for 6 days.
I can't think of anyone being in the dock for that long in any trial in recent memory.
Because
this is like week 7 as well.
Yeah, week 7. It's an extraordinary trial about which we can't speculate at all, but. It has been fascinating. Police are investigating a growing number of school-generated AI-generated pornography cases here in South Australia. There are kids using the Kids Helpline to reach out after being bullied or blackmailed with deep fake images created using apps that digitally strip clothes from real photos. In one case, a girl found fake social media accounts sharing explicit AI-generated images of her face. Others have reported nude deepfake videos made by classmates.
It's just
a disturbing trend.
It's shocking, and it's become an issue for teachers as well. We're female teachers. I think predominantly female teachers. I've only seen cases involving female teachers who've had it done to them by students, and you know, I think that you can imagine a world where young boys get together, new to the internet, all sort of testosterone racing through their veins, and you think, oh yeah, this is going to be a bit of a laugh, and only just realise it dawns on them later the gravity of what they've done. It's just terrible.
10.2 degrees outside of the city at the moment, hovering top of 16 today, maybe a mil of rain, 2 mils tomorrow and 16, 17 on Friday, 17 on Saturday as well, with up to 7 mils of rain. Best chance of rain is going to be on the Monday though, 16 with 1 to 10 mils of rain on the Monday. Someone said it sounds like you're broadcasting on a Kazakhstan dial-up modem. I don't know what I didn't know the Kazakhs were famous for their dial-up.
I have a ham radio. I have a ham radio. Wasn't that the Simpsons sketch with the guy with the ham radio talking to the guy on the other side of the world? I have a ham radio.
Well, that being the case, We're going to hand it back to Tom Wren in Hindmarsh Square and do some urgent repairs. We're broadcasting from. Ready, take over, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, boys. Well, I'm going to do the sports update, boys, and we usually have our spot now anyway, and it was an amazing night last night because Erin Phillips has been inducted into the Hall of Fame. So she became just the second woman behind Debbie Lee, who was a pioneer in the game in so many ways. So it was Erin Phillips last night and also Daisy Pearce, a fantastic recognition for both of those women who have done so much for the game and have been, role models in so many ways, so successful. And Erin Phillips, I think, more locally, given her prominence, the family name, Greg Phillips, and what he did at Port Adelaide in the Hall of Fame himself. And Erin, of course, three-time premiership player with the Crows, two-time league best and fairest winner as well. She was pretty emotional when talking about her journey and the way things were laid out for her early on in her career. Let's have a listen to what she had to say last night.
To Dad, I can't imagine how hard it would have been to tell your 13-year-old daughter that she couldn't play the game that she loves anymore. 27 years later, she's standing next to you in the Hall of Fame. Thank you for teaching me a game that I loved, and even though you knew it was never going to take me anywhere at the time, you still taught me anyway.
Beautiful stuff, wasn't it? So that was Erin Phillips last night, just talking about her journey and, the fact that it wasn't easy for young women. I think of my niece now. So I've got boys, but my sister has a young daughter who plays football, and I'm lucky enough to go to football clubs each and every Thursday night, and it's incredible. I've done that for probably 10 years, I reckon, 10 or 11 years, and just seeing the transformation in that short space of time of, the influx of women's players and young girls that are coming through and playing the game now has been extraordinary. And there's no question in my mind that Erin Phillips and Daisy Pearce are a huge part of that. But there was no pathway like that when they were young, when they were playing. So it's now there for young women, should they choose to, or they can choose other sports. There's at least that, variety for them, and at least football is now one of them. So beautifully spoken last night. I thought it was a wonderful speech. Well done to Erin Phillips. It was a big night because Ken Farmer, he was elevated to legend status, and, I mean, what a player he was. He himself was able to carve out just an extraordinary career at North Adelaide, 224 games, someone that has just, we name a medal after him. It's the Ken Farmer medal for most goals each and every year, averaged more than 6 goals a game. I know it was a different era, but 6.33 goals a game, 10 times Sandford leading goal kicker, just an amazing record over his journey. 224 games, like I said, 1,400 goals at the club, two-time premiership coach with them as well. So understandably, he has been elevated to legend status, which is totally deserved. So well done to Ken Farmer. So a beautiful South Australian flavour at the Hall of Fame Awards last night. And then we also had St Kilda champion Nick Revolt, the Melbourne great Gary Lyon, and Triple Hawthorn premiership captain Luke Hodge, who all became Hall of Famers. There was another South Aussie player in there, a South Adelaide premiership player in Peter Darley, and he almost stole the show with his speech last night. Very funny and irreverent. He was hilarious and spoke beautifully too. Taswegian John Leadham and Western Australian George Owens were also inducted, which was fantastic. So a brilliant night at the Hall of Fame Awards. Got to stick with football because there's a bit, fellas, that's been going around in the last day or so, 24, 48 hours, about this story regarding Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera and also Taylor Walker. Look, we know, we love Caro. She's been a huge part of this show for a long time, or the sports show, I should say, with Rowie and Timmy G. But look, I have had it relayed to me. I spoke firsthand with someone last night regarding a conversation that has been held in the last 24 hours or so between Wanganeen-Millera and also Taylor Walker. So my understanding is that Wanganeen-Millera has initiated that conversation and has rung Tex and said, I want you to hear it from me categorically that there is absolutely no issue with you, with me, and, with a potential decision moving forward of me coming to the Adelaide Football Club. So he has, I think the air has totally been cleared, and that is totally fine between those two players. So Wanganeen-Millera, I mean, I tip my hat. He's 22 years of age and has got enormous maturity to be able to get on the phone and get on the front foot, and I think just put that to bed and make sure that it's all okay. So that's my understanding. That's what's been told to me. So I think it's all fine, and any decision that is made from here on in, and I don't think. Well, I'm not sure if Wanganeen Miller has made his decision yet on where he's going to play next season, but that incident from 4 years ago that has been alluded to with Taylor Walker will have absolutely no bearing on a decision on where that young St Kilda player ends up going. Now, I think the Crows are still very much in the hunt, and I think definitely Port Adelaide also right in the frame, given his connections here in South Australia. So we'll see how that all unfolds, but that is my understanding. It's going to be an interesting few days and few weeks ahead, I think, now to see where he does end up playing. He's a magnificent young player. He uses the ball so well. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that the air has been cleared between those two players and no issues whatsoever. The other big thing that's happened, it's been a huge night, actually, fellas, for sport, because the Socceroos, they're officially in the World Cup 6 in a row. How good is that? They've come from a goal down to beat Saudi Arabia 2-1 overnight. Let's have a listen to how they hit the back of the net.
It's a lovely ball by Mitch Duke. Conor Metcalfe scores! Huge goal for Australia. His first for his country, and it could not have been timed any better.
So they're 1-0 down at that stage, the Socceroos, and remember they had to lose by 5 goals or more to be kicked out of second position. The top 2 in the group automatically go through to the World Cup. So at 1-0 down after 20 minutes, look, it still wasn't looking horrible, but there was just that flicker of hope for Saudi Arabia. That goal that you just heard there, thanks to Paramount Plus, that just put a little bit of pressure in there because it meant that the crowd was up and about. The Socceroos, or could they, maybe fall over here and get done? But that goal just took, all the pressure and all the air out of the game. 1-1 right on half-time. And then they came out on the other side. They scored. Mitch Duke scored for them in the 48th minute. A 2-1 win is how it finished. So the Socceroos do it in style. Have to tip your cap to Tony Popovic. He has got them through to the World Cup, which is just magnificent. So well done to Tony Popovic. Well done to the Socceroos. They are through to the World Cup next year. It's their 6th in a row. I know I've got my 11-year-old boy, Harry, desperately saying if we can go over there. So if anyone knows any cheap flights or tickets, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for those. I might have to catch the boat over there, I reckon. Anyway, that is just about it, fellas. A nice sports update there. Get a $3,000 cash card on selected models during Agostino Mitsubishi's end of financial year sale, and you can get up to a $2,000 loyalty bonus when you trade in during Agostino Mitsubishi's end of financial year sale. We're right up against the news. It's 6:30. Jade Robin with more. I'll join her and the boys, David and Will, will be back after 6:30. You are listening to 5AA Breakfast.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers today, 16 the top with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jade Robrin.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
Police are investigating a rising number of school-related cases involving AI-generated pornography in Adelaide schools. Kids Helpline is hearing from children who've been bullied or blackmailed with deepfake images. They're being created by apps that can digitally remove clothing from real photos. Labor's historic land release is being slammed as a hoax, with officials revealing major infrastructure gaps at key sites. SA Water has confirmed that only the Onkaparinga Heights development is funded for water and waste pipelines, while Selix Beach, Dry Creek and Concordia will go without, potentially until 2028. Shadow Housing Minister Michelle Lensick says the plan is misleading.
So everybody knows that South Australia is in the middle of a housing crisis, and what this seems is that this great big historic land release announcement of over 2 years ago now was really just a hoax, and there was no opportunity in the short term for any of those sites to be built on and for people to be moving in.
The officer responsible for shooting 9 US correspondent Lauren Tomasi with a rubber bullet could be suspended if he's found guilty of breaching the officer's code of conduct. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese condemned the attack, adding Tomasi was clearly targeted. Former LAPD Detective Moses Costello has told Today the investigation will be thorough.
They'll do video analysis from all angles and determine what happened. If they find that he did this out of policy, he could be facing some internal discipline, anything from an official reprimand to maybe a suspension or retraining, and worst case scenario, termination.
3 days of mourning have been declared in Austria after a deadly shooting at a secondary school. Europe correspondent Jessica Millward.
The death toll from this horrific shooting now sits at 11 after another adult passed away in hospital. Austrian authorities have identified the shooter as a 21-year-old former student. Witnesses reporting hearing between 30 and 40 shots ring out at the campus. Heavily armed police swarming the area. The gunman took his own life in a bathroom. The city of Graz, where this unfolded, is Austria's second largest city, and locals are coming out to donate blood to assist the many injured who are in hospital.
3 in 4 Aussies are at risk of kidney disease, with common factors including diabetes and high blood pressure. Kidney Health Australia is urging regular checkups as the disease often shows no symptoms. General Manager Bryony Robson says early detection is key to preventing serious damage.
So we know that there's 2.7 million people in Australia who are living with signs of kidney disease, and up to 2.5 million of those people do not know that they have the condition. So it is, unfortunately, a big problem in Australia.
As Men's Health Week begins, the spotlight is on a sobering fact. Suicide is the leading cause of death for Aussie men under 65. 7 men die by suicide every day, with veterans at the highest risk, particularly in the early years after leaving service. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors, gliderol.com.au.
And the man in shorts when it's 10 degrees, Tommy Wren, good morning.
Good morning to you, Jane. Yeah, it makes you feel alive. Well, that's the theory anyway. The Socceroos have secured a spot, Jade, which is great for the 2026 World Cup. That's after beating Saudi Arabia this morning 2-1.
Matt Ryan drops on the ball and the full-time whistle goes, and they've done it. The Socceroos are off to the World Cup for the 6th consecutive occasion.
Yeah, how good is that? That audio thanks to Paramount Plus. Now, Mitch Duke and Connor Metcalf scored the goals, while in his 100th appearance, Matt Ryan saved a late penalty. It was an emotional night at the Australian Football Hall of Fame Awards, with Erin Phillips inducted 5 years after her father Greg received the same accolade. Daisy Pearce was also inducted, while South Aussie great Ken Farmer was elevated to legend status. Melbourne great Gary Lyon says he was lost for words after being told he'd be inducted 26 years after retiring. The champion forward joined Saints great Nick Revolt, Hawthorn champion Luke Hodge also. And Lyon says he was lucky to live out his dreams.
All I ever wanted to do was be a footy player. That's it. That's really simple. That's all I wanted in life, was to be a footy player. Pretty simple, uncomplicated. From the moment I could walk, a footy player, that was it for me, and nothing else changed.
South Aussie Peter Darley also made it in there. And Marnus Labuschagne will open the batting for Australia in the World Test Championship final against South Africa starting tonight. Josh Hazlewood has also been selected in front of Scott Boland. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Tommy. Now the 5AA forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
A possible shower in 16, a shower or two tomorrow, also 16, then mostly sunny on Friday and 17. Right now it is 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hyundai End of Financial Year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 7, broadcasting you live from 21 Tea Tree Lane at Westlakes, where what we're hoping to do is shine a bit of a light on a unique opportunity to buy a property and have every single dollar go to the magnificent variety here in South Australia. Sav McGill, the CEO, is going to join us after 7 o'clock. We're going to be chatting with the auctioneer, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Toop and Toop selling the property as well. Everyone donating their time to what is a terrific cause, and let's hope we can raise as much money as possible. Now, over the course of the first half hour, we learned a little bit about acoustics. We learned a little bit about each other, the areas in which you can and can't broadcast a radio program. Thank you for sticking with us. I just want to put you in the picture because now we are downstairs in this beautiful home, it must be said, gathered around a small bed. And when we entered the room, there was nothing but the bed. And Lucy said, well, you guys are going to have to do the show from the bed. Well, as though we were like Michael Hutchence and Paulie Yates.
I was thinking more John and Yoko, Will.
John and Yoko.
This is our bed in.
Yeah.
It does sound better. The carpet is terrific. It was what's it called? The Scandi sort of first mezzanine level.
Yes.
It was the brushed timber.
Great view of the golf course.
Oh, superb view of the golf course. Absolutely superb view of the golf course. But the carpet down here is doing us a big favour. But upstairs, that sort of low-maintenance, light-coloured timbers, open plan, the beautiful vaulted ceilings, not conducive to doing an OB, but it sounds vastly better in here. And the nice thing is that you and I will be able to lie down together during the ad breaks.
Yeah, exactly right. We've never got to cuddle during the show before.
That's right, exactly. So I think the way we're going, we're going to need to.
I'm not sure what's more challenging for everyone listening at home, whether it's going to be the acoustics upstairs or the mental imagery downstairs.
I tell you what, there's a lot of feeling about Carolyn Wilson on the text line, and I've got to say I agree with every single word of it. I don't know why this has been dredged up again. It makes her look obsessed. It makes her look like she's got an axe to grind against a guy who's already been pilloried publicly. Has done a lot of stuff, made a lot of visits to Indigenous communities, spoken to a lot of people, and rightly so, because what he said at the time was terrible. But the way this is getting dredged up again, and her backing up again last night, I'm not trying to put you in a difficult position, Will, because I know that you work at 7, and I'm not having a generalised crack at Channel 7, but I do think that with the surfeit of people working in the sports media now, all of whom are being paid top dollar to come up with a hot take every 3.5 minutes, that we're seeing some pretty loose and cruel coverage, and I think it's actually a complete disgrace, total embarrassment.
Well, I think a few people have pointed out in the text line and on social media as well, and I think it's a fairly reasonable point. So you've got this crackerjack rumour that you've heard. She said that her wording was it was someone at Port Adelaide has told her this, around Port Adelaide, maybe not in the club, around Port Adelaide.
Might someone at the K-Lake Hotel or but someone outside, at the $2 shop on Semaphore Road.
Yeah. She did the classic thing where not wanting it to be quash because it was so juicy, didn't ring management to check whether it was accurate or not.
Didn't ring him either.
Or him.
Yeah.
Which would be normal order of business, the first call you might make.
So you're gonna smash a bloke 2 days in a row over something that he understandably would have thought had a big thick black line drawn under it, given how hard he worked to make amends about the whole thing. And you don't talk to him. That's just not good, is it?
Yep.
I just can't be. I'd better be careful what I say because, I have some views about stuff. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, all right. 8223 008 was going to probe further, but I've opted out. 0448 08 1395 is the text number if you'd like to share your thoughts on the text line.
We can't read more than half of the texts out about what people are saying about her, and the way this what our listeners rightly or wrongly regard as a pattern.
All right, keep your thoughts coming through. Whether we can read them or not, we'll make a live determination here over the course of the morning. Stick with us. Coming up very shortly, we're going to be chatting with Matt Bowman from the Department of Infrastructure and Transport. Yesterday, of course, the Oban came off the tracks. It was a little bit later in the morning we started getting first reports about this. It sounds like it wasn't anything to do with the driver. There was no driver error. Sounds like there was a problem on the track. So we'll get to the bottom of precisely what that means. The other thing that it does mean is that it's going to be... There's going to be disruptions over the course of the next few days heading into the weekend as well. So thankfully no one was on board and no more damage was done. But we'll get some answers for you on that very, very shortly.
Has anyone actually explained how the driver got out?
I think they must have... Well, no, they haven't. We'll play some audio a little bit later because the MFS guys there say they've never seen anything like this in 30 years. They've propped the bus on its side. I would assume in the process of propping it up, he's gotten out.
Yeah, it looked like it was... Because it was on a full 45-degree angle, so I don't know how he would have managed to get out, the sheer physics of it.
Yeah, yeah. Precarious situation. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll check traffic for the very first this morning and come back with police and weather in just a moment. Register for the Big Brunch because every bite counts. Go to thebigbrunchdrive.com.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Right to wet you to passing showers, so take it easy on the running to work today. Look out for a burst water main at Vale Park, Ascot Avenue to Harris Road. Got lane closed and speeds at 40. If heading out of town today, on the freeway just outside of Murray Bridge, truck v horse. Guess that explains the long face. Got a lane block there and speeds reduced. And look over works at Norwood this morning, the parade near Edward Streets. Cameras Candy Road, O'Halloran Hill and Days Road at Croydon Park. Harris Scarf Friends store-wide sale is on now. Save 50% off full-price flannelette quilt cover sets and sheets. Conditions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years. But one thing remains unchanged, our passion to help people invest in their future, to build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Last month, we serviced around 11,000 vehicles, more than 3,000 Hyundais, i30s, 20s, Santa Fe's, 2,000 Kias, Sorrentos, Carnivals, Rios, over 700 Hondas. That's right, over 11,000 people trusted us with their pride and joy. Automasters, isn't it time for you to switch and save? Call 1300 Automasters or book online. All centres offer repair now, pay later options. So switch and save with Automasters. Great service guaranteed.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything. Planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. lubahouse.com.au.
Steinborner Automotive in Gawler, Barossa and Clare has always been well worth a trip, especially with their end of financial year sale on over 500 new, used and demo cars, including over 50 new and demo Mazda CX-3s, CX-5s and the best deals on BT50s in SA. Plus, they're offering an additional $1,500 trade-in bonus on all trade-ins. Head to Barossa Mazda in Nuriutpa or view the whole range at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth a trip.
Last month, around 11,000 people trusted us with their pride and joy. Automasters, logbook servicing, repairs, brakes, aircon and more. Isn't it time for you to switch and save? Call 1300 Automasters. Great service guaranteed.
Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
15 minutes to 7. Let's head to the Weather Bureau to get the latest on what's happening weather-wise. Simon Timke, sorry I'm laughing because we've lost all connection to the outside world. I think if you can hear us out there, send us a text, 048081395. Simon Timke, are you out there somewhere?
Good morning, Will. Morning, David. I'm here. Hopefully
excellent.
Coming through clearly.
Yeah, no, we've got you, Simon. Excellent. That's magnificent. Now, what's the weather looking like?
Yeah, look, quite a bit of cloud around this morning and not too cold to start off with. We've had a minimum temperature of 10 degrees and currently sitting on that right now. There was a couple of showers around overnight. We recorded not a lot, but 0.8 of a millimetre in the rain gauge here in the city. and most places around the suburbs have recorded a small amount, a fraction of a millimetre. The odd spot picking up a tiny bit more. A couple of spots down around Glenelg, Morphett, FIVEAA with 2 to 5 millimetres there. So a couple of wetter spots. So the roads are wet, but not expecting a whole lot more during the day today. Looking at the radar at the moment, there's a few showers around the hills, but mostly clear over the plains at the moment. But I think, a chance of 1 or 2 around during the day, but I wouldn't expect any big totals. A little bit of low cloud around too, around the hills, and maybe a bit of patchy fog around the northern suburbs to start off with. And maximum temperature today, expecting 16 degrees with the winds generally northerly in direction today. Maximum temperatures around the suburbs, 16 degrees as well for Noarlunga, Glenelg and Elizabeth, and 14 degrees for Mount Barker. On Thursday, there could be 1 or 2 showers around, but I expect most of the showers will stay a little bit further to the west and the north of Adelaide. So, again, not expecting any big totals tomorrow. The winds will be north to northeasterly on Thursday. A little bit colder overnight, down to 8 degrees for Thursday morning and a maximum of 16 degrees for Thursday. Then mostly sunny on Friday, 17 degrees. And we'll see another front move across on Saturday, so we'll see some showers develop during the afternoon and evening, down to 7 for the minimum on Saturday morning, 17 the maximum, with the winds northerly to start off with, but tending around a bit more westerly during the afternoon as that front moves across. Still a shower or 2 left over for Sunday in the wake of that front too, and 16 degrees for Sunday, so a little bit wet at times over the weekend, guys.
Good on you, Simon. Thank you very much for that. Simon Timke there from the Bureau of Meteorology. We cross now to catch up with Senior Constable Holly Frisby from SAPOL.
And Holly, a drink driver's been pulled over at Eastwood. What happened?
Yeah, good morning, Dave and Will. How are you?
Good, thank you, Holly.
Good. So just before 9 o'clock last night, police saw a grey Volkswagen hatch travel past them on Glen Osmond Road. Police stopped the car for a mobile driver test. The driver, a 26-year-old woman from Belair, recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.156, which is more than 3 times the legal limit. She was issued a 12-month instant loss of licence and reported for drink driving. She will be summoned to appear in court at a later date.
And Holly, also, police are investigating a suspicious car fire at Renown Park.
Just after 12:30 this morning, police and MFS crews were called to a unit complex car park on Torrens Road after reports that a red Mitsubishi has been set alight. Fire crews extinguished the blaze before further damage could occur to other vehicles, and police believe the fire was deliberately lit and ask anyone who witnessed any suspicious activity in the area to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
All right, good on you, Holly. Thank you for that. Senior Constable Holly Frisby from SAPOL. Matt Bowman from the Department of Infrastructure and Transport is also on the line. Want to get some answers about what happened when the O-Bahn came off the track yesterday. Have a listen to the bus driver radioing in immediately after the crash.
I got no idea, but I'm hanging off the track.
Hanging off the he was as surprised as anyone. So too were the MFS, who were there in attendance to effect the rescue.
This is the first time in 30 years that I've seen this. It's pretty precariously off the tracks.
5.
So you've got the bus driver not sure what happened. The MFS have never seen anything like it. Matt Bowman, good morning to you. Are you clear what happened yet?
Good morning, David and Will. Well, look, the actual circumstances of what led to this, we're still working through. It is a really unusual incident. We unfortunately from time to time have cars that end up on the track, and sometimes we have animals on the track, which causes temporary delays. And during wild weather, we might have trees or tree branches come down over the track. But to actually have this happen to a bus is really unusual. So we've got that investigation underway at the moment, including looking at such things as CCTV and talking to the driver and whatnot, just to find out exactly what's happened here.
So, Matt, we were just wondering, how did the driver actually get out of the bus with it being on such a severe angle? Did he come out through did the windscreen have to get smashed to get him out, or could he manage to climb out still?
I understand that the MFS was able to, after sort of securing the bus, to remove him safely from the driver's door. That's my understanding. But thankfully he wasn't injured in the incident, and there were no passengers on board because the bus was actually out of service at the time. So thankfully no injuries, and he was able to be removed through the driver's door, I believe.
Matt, does the damage to the track and surrounds mean there'll be issues for the rest of the week?
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. So it's caused quite a bit of damage to the concrete of the track at that location, as well as a guide rail. There's a guide rail that the buses use when they when they're leaving the O-Bahn, leaving the interchange there and accessing the track itself. So that's been quite badly damaged and will need to be repaired. So what that means is, if you're travelling into the city, there's no impact at all. The O-Bahn is operating as usual heading into the city, but if you're heading out of the city, that section between Clemzig and Paradise interchange is closed for a few days, and buses will bypass using the road between Clemzig and Paradise on the way out of the city. Now, we're hoping, though, to have that repaired certainly as quickly as possible, looking like Friday afternoon at this stage, so it should be up and running again in time for the Friday afternoon peak, but obviously some inconvenience to our travellers heading out of town until then, and we certainly apologise for that.
Do you ever feel like, Matt, the O-Bahn's Adelaide's own Bermuda Triangle? A lot of weird stuff happens with the O-Bahn, doesn't it?
Oh, look, it's a fantastic piece of infrastructure. It really is. It's very unique in the Southern Hemisphere. It's been operating since the mid-'80s. It safely moves. I think there are 900 odd bus movements up and down the O-Bahn every day, and moving some over 28,000 South Australians safely. But look, we unfortunately occasionally have these sorts of conversations, but it really is a very reliable and an effective means of transport. I use it every day, David and Will. It's really convenient.
Yeah,
it's convenient. And it's a great design.
It's brilliant.
I don't know. I mean, this driving situation is quite out of the box, but as a general rule, I think most Adelaide motorists are quite good at not accidentally driving their car onto the tracks.
Most, but not all.
Most, but not all, which makes Matt Bowman's job much more interesting.
We'd like to get to all if we can, David and Will, but we still have the occasional mishaps, unfortunately.
Good on you, Matt. Matt Bowman there from the Department of Infrastructure and Transport. A lot of great texts coming in. Still looking for some that are readable. Oh, here's one that's readable. I totally agree with this one from Simon and Seaford. Tex made a mistake. He owned it. He faced the media. He did the training. He rebuilt relationships. That's the example we should be teaching young men. But for some in the media, one out of character mistake should haunt you forever. You know, the thing I find funny about the people in the media who are in the thick of this is, and the Dom Cassisi story a couple of weeks ago showed this, that the people who throw the haymakers are really ill-equipped to deal with any type of criticism directed at them, and I think that's something that people in the media should reflect on. If they're going to dish it out, they've got to be able to take it. Joe in Camden Park. Lads, first I'd like to thank you so much for the Adelaide Wine Festival tickets. My wife and I went on Sunday and it was absolutely fantastic, although after 2 hours we forgot how to walk properly. And I think, let's reflect on two great football stories from yesterday. As Joe is here, he says, in regards to the Hall of Fame inductees last night, so fantastic to see Aaron Phillips up there. But equally, I've never thought there'd be a funnier speech than Jumbo Prince Rick Davies' induction speech. But the winner on the night was South Adelaide's Peter Darley. If you didn't see it, do yourself a favour and rewatch his acceptance speech. I haven't laughed that hard in a while. That was such a good speech.
I need to see it. We're getting some texts about it this morning.
It was brilliant. He basically spent a large part of it talking about how much beer he consumed while he was playing for the Panthers. But, you know, for what has been the longest drought in SANFL history, 1964, the Panthers' last flag, you all know where my SANFL allegiances lie, but I was watching it last night with Kate and the kids and I said, I would almost do anything to see a South Adelaide win a flag.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
It'd just be sensational. But I don't know what it is. How have they got to the point where it just seems like a total impossibility?
It's a big region too. You know, historically in the SANFL, the size of your geographic region.
A lot of great clubs down there with a great, I mean, look at Fitzy, you know, the Cockle Divers. Like, there's, you know, a brilliant local league there. But yeah, the curse of South Adelaide, it's been lasting for far too long. Another one here, Caroline Who. Looks like the Crows are a threat this year. Just a bit more gutter smut from over the border. Straight from Kaz's Cauldron. Thank you for that, Rex.
One thing we did miss when we were moving the furniture here at 21 Tea Tree Lane, from upstairs to downstairs, Tom Wren made the important point. Maybe some of our listeners that are just tuning into this conversation haven't heard. In his sports report, he said that Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller rang Tex yesterday and categorically told him, to a man, there is no issue.
Yeah.
I mean, that is as emphatic
That's the point where
rebuke as you can possibly get.
Like, cause I've been in journo for a long time. I've got quite a few things wrong, and there are times when you've just got to wear it. Like, I've been smashed on Media Watch over things. There's been times where I've just gone, well, that is completely wrong. Someone has sold me a pup. Someone has led me up the garden path, and I've gone with information that is not right, and you've just got to cop it. But I don't know, like, these footy people, what are they too mentally fragile to admit that? You know, I think that it's a problem.
Well, I mean, and the important distinction is the one you're making there. Just because you were told something, it might be true that you were told it, but it doesn't make it true.
How often do we get told stuff that turns out to be complete rubbish?
Unbelievably. Our text line
How often
is
it's like
full of...
7:57, do you see me madly texting people about breaking at 8 going, hang on, no, we can't go with that. That's not right.
Yep.
And when we have got them wrong, we've gone on air and said that was actually wrong. We're sorry.
Yeah, you tidy it up.
But, you know, bit of tidying to be done on this one.
The interesting football element of this now about the Wanganeen Miller of future is how does he react to what the origins of that rumour were? Because someone's put words in his mouth that said, oh, if someone's fitted him and said in that meeting with the players, which we all know happened, you said this. Well, Caro says that came from the Port Adelaide Football Club. I reckon there'll be people around the in the club that weren't a party to that rumour being spread that will be absolutely filthy right now.
Yeah, completely.
They'll be absolutely filthy.
And if it was a tactic, then it's clearly not one that's working very well, I don't think.
It's going to be fascinating come September when he ultimately makes a decision if he chooses to leave. That is Nasiah Wanganeen Miller. It's coming up to 2 minutes to 7. 5AA News is on the way. Sav McGill from Variety very shortly. Of course, we are here broadcasting from Tea Tree Lane this morning inside this magnificent house because when it goes to auction, thanks to Toopid 2, every single dollar that it is bought for will be going to support Variety, the children's charity. So Sav McGill coming up right after 7 o'clock.
The Blackout End of Financial Year sale is live at Edwardstown Mazda. With huge in-showroom only deals across all new and demo vehicles. Must end June 30. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
Right Price, Adelaide's best in heating and cooling, has risen to new heights. Literally, Right Price are now your roofing people too. Same exceptional service, value and quality. From total roof replacement, including tiled roof installation, to tile roof repairs, cleaning and painting. And for peace of mind, a rock-solid quote. So the only surprise you'll get is how magnificent your roof and home looks. Do it right. Visit rightpriceroofing.com.au.
You can get your roof right at Right Price.
They say 20,000 hours in any field makes you master of it. So imagine what 160 years makes you. For more than 160 years, Anglicare SA has supported South Australians in need. Whether it's gardening, meal prep, housework or transport to appointments, Anglicare SA gives seniors as much or as little support as they need. For more on Anglicare SA's coordination and clinical services, visit anglicaresa.com.au.
South Australia brings you the simple pleasure of a long, long lunch. Welcome to the land of the long lunch, the home of the share plate, where one is encouraged to graze the day away and absolutely always have a look at the dessert menu. South Australia, celebrate the simple pleasures.
All right, that'll be absolutely diddly squat.
Buy any vehicle from Southern Cherry before June 30 and you could win an entire year of groceries from Foodland. T's and C's apply. Licence number T25707. Driven by Australian Motors.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A shower or two and 16 the top with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Jade Robrin.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
The investigation into how a bus fell off the O-bound track will continue today. Matt Bowman from the Transport Department says it was a very unusual incident.
To actually have this happen to a bus is really unusual. So we've got that investigation underway at the moment, including looking at such things as CCTV and talking to the driver and whatnot, just to find out exactly what's happened here.
Police are investigating a suspicious car fire at Renown Park. A red Mitsubishi was set alight at a unit complex car park on Torrens Road just after midnight. Fire crews extinguished the blaze before it damaged other vehicles nearby. US President Donald Trump says the National Guard will remain in Los Angeles until there's no danger. Hundreds of US Marines have arrived in the city to back up more than 2,000 National Guards under orders from Mr. Trump, who's trying to contain protests against immigration raids. LA Mayor Karen Bass has called on the Trump administration to stop further immigration raids.
The uncertainty and the fear and the fact that families across the city are terrified. We have people that were detained. We have people that have not had contact with legal representation. And so there is an awful lot of concern.
The death toll from a mass shooting at a secondary school in the southern Austrian town of Graz has risen to 10, with more than a dozen injured. The suspected 21-year-old gunman was a former student at the school who hadn't graduated. He also died in the shooting. Austrian authorities believe he acted alone, and the country has now declared 3 days of mourning for the victims. Accused mushroom killer Erin Patterson has denied the prosecution's allegation she was trying to cover her tracks after leaving hospital for more than an hour and a half, 2 days after the fatal lunch. Penelope Lurch has more.
The Crown prosecutor put to the accused woman the evidence of a phone tower expert who noted her mobile appeared to move toward the Gippsland town of Outram after she had first left the hospital. The prosecutor alleging that the time between hospital presentations was used to cover her tracks, something Erin Patterson denied, insisting she was at her Leongatha property before returning for medical care. Her defence argues it was a tragic accident that the guests fell gravely ill. Erin Patterson denies ever deliberately poisoning anyone.
Research suggests smartphone use among children has not returned to pre-pandemic levels. Macquarie University has found the average daily screen time for primary schoolers is 6.5 hours. Aussies are set to spend $10.5 billion during end of financial year sales as many look to ease cost of living pressures. PayPal research shows most shoppers are chasing online deals and comparing prices, with Gen Z and millennials leading the charge. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Good morning to you, Tom Wren.
Thank you, Jade. Australia has achieved automatic qualification to next year's World Cup after a come-from-behind 2-1 win over Saudi Arabia. Man of the match, Mitch Duke, says they remained calm despite conceding early.
We didn't actually get fazed by the one-goal deficit and we bounced back, got the goal back. Second half, we got another one and we saw out the match. It's a game of big moments as well, and everyone stepped up when they needed to, and it just feels so good. I feel like we haven't beaten Saudi for a while either, so it's really, really good for us.
Fantastic result, that audio, thanks to Paramount. Well, Erin Phillips has joined her father Greg to become the first ever father-daughter combination in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. The three-time premiership star, who was a league best and fairest winner on 2 occasions, paying tribute to her dad, who was shedding tears as she made her acceptance speech.
I can't imagine how hard it would have been to tell your 13-year-old daughter that she couldn't play the game that she loves anymore. And 27 years later, she's standing next to you in the Hall of Fame. It's just...
Yeah, beautiful stuff. That audio there, thanks to Fox. Ken Farmer was elevated to legend status, while South Adelaide Premiership ruckman Peter Darley was also inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Adelaide's Dan Curtin has been rewarded for his strong form, receiving the Rising Star nomination for his 14 touches and 19 pressure acts against Brisbane on Friday night. Well, Kaylee McEwen has made it 2 wins in 2 nights at the Australian Swimming Trials here in Adelaide, finishing first in the 100-metre backstroke. Sam Short has taken out the 200-metre freestyle to also book another spot for the Singapore World Championships next month. And it will be an all-Queensland opening partnership for Australia in the World Test Championship final tonight. Marnus Labuschagne will partner Usman Khawaja at the top of the order at Lords against South Africa. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Make your tax time donation count. Donate to the Jodie Lee Foundation to support early detection of bowel cancer.
Morning there. Roads are wet due to passing showers, so take it easy on the driving today. Looking out for Bruce Waterman at Vale Park, Ascot Avenue to Harris Road. Lane closed and speeds at 40, so should be slow through there. Just got word of an accident at West Hindmarsh. It's on the north-south motorway near Sutton Street with delays inbound, and slow for works at Norwood the Parade near Edward Street. Camera this morning, Days Road, Croydon Park. This end of financial year, get an Android deal from Telstra. Save $300 on the Samsung Galaxy S25 when you buy on a payment plan. Sunlight June 30, eligibility criteria apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
A possible shower in 16 today, a shower or two tomorrow and also 16. Then mostly sunny on Friday and 17. Right now it is 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 7, and good morning to you. Joining us for the very first time on this Wednesday, the 11th of June. The sun is slowly coming up, and we can see now more than just the vivid outline of the trees dottering around the outskirts of the Grange Golf Course. From our vantage point here in the downstairs bedroom of 21 Tea Tree Lane at West Lakes, a beautiful property built by Commercial and General. They did all of this in this development here in West Lakes, and this one is particularly special because all the money raised from its auction, all the money raised, right down to the very last cent, will be going to Variety, the children's charity. CEO Sav McGill's with us here in the bedroom. We'll chat with him in just a moment. Just a couple of traffic incidents to have a look at. There's been a 3-car crash at the north-south motorway at West Hindmarsh affecting southbound, and also on the southeastern freeway, White Hill near the off-ramp to Murray Bridge, eastbound traffic down to 1 lane. Please avoid the area if possible, is the recommendation from SAPOL.
Quite a few texts about the Carolyn Wilson situation as well. Some people are saying, well, 5AA should get rid of her. Well, we have. She doesn't work here anymore. So we can put a line through that one. We have no relationship whatsoever with Carolyn Wilson anymore. She did that weekly spot for quite some time with the Drive guys, but that relationship has ended, so we have no relationship with her at all.
And the significant development of that story in the first hour we heard from Tom Wren was that Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller had personally rung Taylor Walker to make sure he was clear there is no substance to this rumour whatsoever. As emphatic a rebuke as you're ever going to hear. So that was a big development in sport. Lots going on in the world of sport. We'll talk more about that in about 15 or 20 minutes' time. Sav McGill with us, though, here in the downstairs bedroom in Tea Tree Lane. Sav, good morning to you.
I never thought I'd heard that, Will.
Yeah.
Downstairs bedroom.
Neither did we.
I'm quite fond of you boys, but gee. Coming from the master bedroom, that's next level.
Three men a bed and, design to raise money for charity.
It's beautifully decorated, though, I must say.
It's magnificently appointed, is what they say.
Appointed, yes.
Yeah. Well, as you said, though, Sav, we are here for a reason, and it's a very important one. We love the relationship that we have with Variety, but what a great way to make what will hopefully be a whole stack of money for such an important organisation.
Oh, Dave, it's incredible to have this gift. Is amazing. We've got our motoring events. We've got our radiothon, which we enjoy. Our Golden Gala, which is on Saturday coming up. But to have a project of this size, with multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars coming to us, is amazing. And we granted $5.2 million last year via 322 grants. We are now exceeding 300 grants with 4 months to go of our year. It speaks to the need that we are experiencing. It speaks to the demand on Variety's and on Variety's financial grant program. But again, to have a gift like this to complement all the other fundraising aspects we do is just simply amazing.
It's very generous of Commercial in General to basically give you a house.
Yes.
And say, go your hardest. And there's no reserve, is there?
Well, there's none, but this morphed about 3 years ago. Jamie came on the bash. They've been long-term supporters. Jamie and Louisa have been long-term supporters of Variety. They've had a bash car. they're underwriting the $25,000 cash prize for our lottery on Saturday night. So this is not just a one-off, if you like, but to simply Jamie saw the need, saw the demand, saw the stress that's on the fundraising community, and literally said, I'm going to go and handpick a little piece of dirt out here at West and develop it.
When you talk about the stress that's on the community, I mean, we've got relationships with you, we've got relationships with Catherine House,
yes,
relationships with Hutt Street. Every year we do the Undy Drive, so we try to sort of share our philanthropic work around. Have you felt in the last few years that it's become a tougher battle for the charity dollar?
Oh, undeniably. I mean, you know, there's 5,000 registered not-for-profit charities in South Australia alone. So, and we're not competing, as it were. We're all finding our own little niche, and because we all want to create more impact in the most efficient and effective way. And that's a really important point, that we don't want to be and that's why we commit over $2 million to other children's charities to make them more efficient. So we specialise, if you go the footy vernacular, we play our role. We play the best role we can, which is generating the income. We pass that income on so that increased services can be provided, more children impacted, and that's the end game.
So people can come and inspect this house today. Yeah. Then there's a public auction on the 21st that Toop and Toop are doing. We're chatting with Bronte Emanuel a little bit later.
Yes.
Auctioneer extraordinaire that he is. I know there's no reserves, so
yes,
someone might come along and go, 100 grand. I hope that doesn't happen, Sav. But there is no reserve. It will be going.
That might be McGill. I'm fair to say it might be outbid. But
I would think so, because we're probably talking, I know you don't want to put a lid on this, but we're talking $1 million worth of house?
Well, I would think it, and I'm not. I won't put numbers in Bronte's mouth, so to speak, or Jamie for that matter. But it's just a beautiful home.
It is just simply
it's
a
really
beautiful
lovely
home.
And what the whole development here at West, in a previous life, having spent a fair bit of time down here at Footy Park, to see the community that's been created here is simply amazing. It's just it's a lovely, got a lovely feel. As we look over here, the 15th hole at Grange, it's just a lovely aspect, so it's wonderful.
Just looking as the sun is coming up out there over the 15th, it would be a terrific place to live. And the other thing about it, and like speaking as someone who's like, you know, well into middle age, on a house with a large, hard to maintain garden. As much as I love my gardening, there are times where I just think, I just wish this garden was a little bit smaller.
We came here for the first open was on Saturday, and it was. I looked into the garage and I saw there wasn't an edger, there wasn't a blower back, there wasn't a lawnmower, and I'm thinking that's not a bad thing. You know, it's literally, and again, it is that walk out for if you want to travel or otherwise. So I'm not pretending to be a real estate agent, but it is just a beautiful home that you can actually enjoy. It's beautifully appointed because Jamie's obviously had his fingerprint on it all the way through. Everything in terms of the quality of work is first class.
No, it's a genuinely stunning place to have.
So come and inspect the house today. Make sure you go and bid on the 21st of June if you're interested, because not only will you have a wonderful new home, but you'll be supporting what is one of our favourite charities, the Variety. Or McGill, Sav, you do a wonderful job. I'll call you McGill because that was your auctioneer. That was your bid. That was your bid short nickname.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get a lot more than 100 grand. I think you get much, much, much more than that for this beautiful home. And all the best with it.
No doubt. And again, it's just to have the support from you guys is amazing, because it really does make a difference to literally tens of thousands of children in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we love doing it, Sav. Anytime, anything we can do to help Variety, you'll always get a yes from us. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Good on you, Sav.
Appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to check traffic. Let's register for the big brunch, because every bite counts. Go to thebigbrunchdrive.com.
Thanks. We've also got the odd passing shower, so damp roads for the drive-in, so look out for random muppets on the way to work today. West Hindmarsh, a three-car collision on the north-south motorway near Susan Street. Quite big delays through there. And a burst water main to keep in mind for the drive-in at Vale Park, Ascot Avenue to Harris Road. Got lane closed and speed reduced there. Busy at the moment, South Road to Clovelly Park for those South Road works, and a camera Education Road, Happy Valley. Ford's drive-away deals. Ranger XLT model year 25.25 from 60k drive-away for ABN holders only. Recommended price at participating dealers. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Fluorio Milk Company will always put SA first. And you can too. When you reach for milk, Reach for Fluorio Milk Company products and support our dairy farmers and their families. We guarantee that all our milk is 100% South Australian and it's always fresh. We have over 24 refrigerated trucks shipping Fluorio milk to cafes, restaurants and supermarkets all over SA. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
Hi, Pretty here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. With all the end of financial year deals we've got going, you really should be here too. All makes, models and colours are being cleared, no exceptions. And there's a huge range of low-K demos, all ready for immediate delivery. Plus, you'll get free on-roads, free stamp duty, free 12-month rego and $500 worth of accessories. No gimmicks, just great deals. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway, T's and C's apply.
Have you ever been in one of those relationships? They say they'll show up, they don't. Well, you deserve better. You deserve someone who actually calls you back. It's time to break up with unreliable tradies, and that's why it's time to call Precise.
That's right. Precise will do the job right the first time. No ghosting, no dodgy quick fixes, just good, honest plumbing with zero red flags. And if you haven't noticed, winter is definitely here. Call them now and get $500 off new ducted heating installations. No call-out fees and no surprises.
Block that flaky old tradie and get a tradie who treats you right. Precise, reliable, local and emotionally available if you do need that sort of thing. Call 8152 6740 or visit preciseservices.com.au, celebrating 25 years.
There was this huge spider.
Really silly place for a letterbox.
Seriously, there were cows all over the road.
At FIVEAA Panel Services, we've heard it all. But the one thing we hear often is, when will my car be ready? In most cases, we can start work straight away, thanks to our state-of-the-art workshop and highly skilled team. Ask your insurance company for FIVEAA Panel Services. With over 45 years' experience, we'll get you back on the road sooner. premierpanel.com.au.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
18 minutes after 7, it is a Wednesday morning, which means after 7:30, Sean Fuster is going to join us and we'll go round the courts. Right now, though, just a quick wrap of some of the morning's stories, including Matt Bowman from the Department of Infrastructure and Transport, who we spoke to a short time ago to get some answers regarding what happened when an Oban bus came off the track and what it means for services going forward. Have a listen.
So it's caused quite a bit of damage to the concrete of the track at that location, as well as a guide rail. There's a guide rail that the buses use when they're leaving leaving the interchange there and accessing the track itself. So that's been quite badly damaged and will need to be repaired. So what that means is, if you're travelling into the city, there's no impact at all. The O-Bahn is operating as usual heading into the city, but if you're heading out of the city, that section between Clemzig and Paradise interchange is closed for a few days, and buses will bypass using the road between Clemzig and Paradise on the way out of the city.
So not a great result if you're relying on the O-Bahn. That said, it is a good result when you consider what it would have been like if it was packed full of people at the time and the driver managed to get out without significant injury, which was good news as well.
Trouble in paradise.
Trouble in paradise, indeed.
Well, it's cold and lonely in the deep, dark night. I can see paradise by the dashboard light. Meatloaf said that.
I'm not sure it's going to be paradise when the Prime Minister meets with Donald Trump in the next week or so. He spoke about it during his National Press Club address, this prickly issue of how Australia negotiates on tariffs. Here is the Prime Minister.
On things like the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme, the Media Bargaining Code, our biosecurity in agriculture, they're not on the table. But are there areas in which Australia and the United States can have win-wins? Yes, I believe that there are.
Maybe if Trump doesn't like the way it's going, he'll send in the National Guard. Or the Marines.
It does seem intractable to me that the issues on which the US wants us to negotiate are things that we are implacably imposed to whoever negotiating on. Things like the PBS, the pharmaceutical benefit scheme, is not going to be is not up for negotiation. Biosecurity laws are not up for negotiation.
I think that there are things that actually go to the national identity in a way that transcends ideology. Like, I don't think it matters if you're a Labor voter or a Liberal voter, or even a real hardline Conservative. I think most Australians are quite happy to live in a country where big pharmaceutical companies aren't allowed to charge whatever the hell they like for medicine. And the fact that, you know, poor people who are going through cancer or are dealing with, you know, debilitating, life-altering conditions like diabetes, for example, like the idea that you just let the market decide everything is anathema to Australians. Like, our experience of COVID versus theirs was notable for the fact that over there, so many people just dropped dead because they were poor and they had no access to healthcare. Like, the PBS represents the sort of genial collectivist philosophy of Australia. And there's no way you can give up on that without changing who we are as a country. And equally, I'd say things like quarantine. You know, when you come back from overseas, I think most Australians almost feel a degree of pride. Oh, I'm not sure if I should declare this, so I'll declare it. You know, the idea of, I mean, even the term budgie smuggler has at its core a sort of pejorative, you know, what sort of a degenerate would go around trying to smuggle stuff into Australia? Like, we're incredibly protective of our well, we probably think we're more protective of it than we really are, but we are emotionally protective of our nation in an environmental sense.
You could think we could appeal to Donald Trump's desire to protect his own borders and perhaps talking about while we do it on biosecurity with our own.
He just does it to Guatemalans.
So it's going to be fascinating. That clip popped up in my feed again yesterday. I watched it last night of that congressional grilling where the senator was asking the Trump administration, what's Australia got to do? And he made the point, you've got a trade surplus, they've been as good an ally as you could possibly have, yet they got whacked with a 10% tariff. And the things they said are the things we're talking about. Ban on meat, pharmaceutical benefits. So I just don't know where this negotiation's going to go. It feels like it's going to go nowhere. That's coming up in the next week or so. The big story in football right now has been the brouhaha over Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller and the courting of him of both the Crows and Port Adelaide. Caroline Wilson dropping the rumour that he had ruled out a move to Adelaide on account of Taylor Walker's previous issue with making a racist comment. Well, have a listen to what Tom Wren's had to say with the latest on that suggestion.
Because there's a bit, fellas, that's been going around in the last day or so, 24, 48 hours, about this story regarding Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller and also Taylor Walker. Look, we know, we love Caro. She's been a huge part of this show for a long time, or the sports show, I should say, with Rowie and Timmy G. But look, I have had it relayed to me. I spoke firsthand with someone last night regarding a conversation that has been held in the last 24 hours or so between Wanganeen-Miller and also Taylor Walker. So my understanding is that Wanganeen-Miller has initiated that conversation and has rung Tex and said, I want you to hear it from me categorically that there is absolutely no issue with you, with me, and, you know, with a potential decision moving forward of me coming to the Adelaide Football Club. So he has, I think the air has totally been cleared, and that is totally fine between those two players. So,
well, I think if you want to work out who to believe here, Tom Wren or Caroline Wilson, Tom's got a major tactical advantage. He's actually spoken to the people at the centre of this. Caroline Wilson said last night on the what's the program called? The
Agenda Setters.
The Agenda Setters. The Agenda
Well, the
Setters.
agenda has been set.
The agenda has... That show's going like a German band. They started with a formal apology written by the legal department towards the umpires and then moved headlong into this debacle. Let's go with Tom Wren's version of events, I think, like Caroline Wilson's. Because he's spoken to Tex. She admitted last night that she hasn't.
I hope we haven't scared Nozaya Wanganeen Miller off coming back to South Australia in toto. He's getting a bit of a lesson about what happens what the scrutiny is on a 2-team town as opposed to a 10-team town in Melbourne. I wonder how many news articles have there been about St Kilda in the last 12 months? Has anyone said anything newsworthy about the Saints?
But that goes to a separate point, which is that they're quite happy to sit there over the border. She's quite happy, and other journos are quite happy to sit there over the border taking repeated, tired, hackneyed old pot shots at the Adelaide Football Club. Why are they doing a story about what happened with Melbourne over the weekend? You know, let's do a full-blown investigation into that. I mean, Melbourne's been a club worth investigating for quite a long time, I would have thought.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
They won't live in their own backyard.
No, but you can live in relative anonymity in football in Melbourne.
Oh, completely.
Because any comment anyone makes turns into front-page news in South Australia.
Yeah, but Tom's got the story right.
Tom has got the story.
Which makes him unique in this situation.
That's what we like to hear. 822 300 is our number. You can text us on 0448 08 1395 as well. Coming up very shortly, Sean Fuskin is going to join us, and Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop is not too far away.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Caroline Wilson, she had this to say.
My understanding is that if Nozaya Wanganeen Malira does leave St Kilda, he won't be going to the Adelaide Football Club.
I shook my head. This one really gets up my goat. I have put a call through to Caro. Why would you even go with this? No. My industry disappoints me.
The 5AA Sports Show.
So would have it come from Port?
No way. Port Adelaide are in the hunt.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA, always Adelaide.
When you think of Adelaide Entertainment Centre, you think of this or this. But we also host corporate conferences,
welcome our guest speakers,
charity galas, and functions of all shapes and sizes, with unique spaces shared by superstars and limited by only your imagination. Events at Adelaide Entertainment Centre are like no other. Make your next event a superstar experience. Visit Adelaide Entertainment Centre's website.
Here's an important air conditioning tip from Morford Air. Never give your teenagers control over the aircon remote. Your energy bills could go through the roof. Instead, for summer, set it around 21 degrees. It's the most energy efficient temperature. And if you turn it on early, before the teens are out of bed, your system will have less work to do, keeping your home cool all day. When it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford.
Ever find insurance confusing, whether it's your car, home, investment property or boat? Sometimes you just want to speak to a real person, and that's where RAA can help.
That's right. With a dedicated call centre in Mile End and shops across SA, RAA are all about genuine conversations. Whether you've got a quote online, over the phone or in person, you'll always receive friendly, reliable service.
So chat to a local about your insurance today. Call RAA on 8202 4567 or visit in-store. T's and C's, limits and exclusions apply. Issued by RAA Insurance Limited, AFS 232525. Consider the PDS and TMD on the RAA website before purchasing this product.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property. Every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
Finding the perfect Volkswagen is easy at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. Even easier during their end of financial year sale. Choose from a massive range of new and demo Volkswagens available for delivery right now. Loads of colours, loads of options. On-site finance and next day servicing. How easy is that? Too easy. Get a great drive-away deal during the end of financial year clearance. Ends June 30. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Possible showers today, 16 the top with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jade Robrin.
For the best price, quality and same-day service, trust Complete Windscreens. RAA approved, Main North Road, Prospect.
A section of Adelaide's O-bound bus track will stay closed into next week after a bus veered off the tracks at Clemsick Interchange. Matt Bowman from the Transport Department says the closures will affect outbound passengers.
If you're heading out of the city, that section between Clemsick and Paradise Interchange is closed for a few days, and buses will bypass using the road between Clemsick and Paradise on the way out of the city.
A car went up in flames at Renown Park overnight. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee says it's being treated as suspicious.
Just after 12:30 this morning, police and MFS crews were called to a unit complex car park on Torrens Road after reports that a red Mitsubishi has been set alight. Fire crews extinguished the blaze before further damage could occur to other vehicles, and police believe the fire was deliberately lit.
Police are investigating a suspicious trailer fire at Christie's Beach overnight. It broke out in Overland Terrace at about 1:30 a.m. Police searched the area but were unable to locate any suspects. They believe the fire was deliberately lit. Allied health professionals will continue their statewide rallies today, gathering at the Flinders Medical Centre train station entrance. They're calling for fairness, better conditions and proper recognition for their vital work in the health system. The federal government has issued major sanctions against 2 Israeli ministers accused of inciting violence against Palestinians in the West Bank. Australia is among 5 nations who made a joint announcement, with Canada, New Zealand, Norway and the UK sharing the same concerns. Foreign Minister Penny Wong has told Today their actions are unacceptable.
The unlawful and violent settlement enterprise in the West Bank that is not consistent with 2 states. We believe, like the international community and our partners, that 2 states is the best chance for peace in the Middle East and peace and security for Israelis.
US President Donald Trump says the National Guard and Marines will remain in Los Angeles until there is no longer any danger. Trump says LA would be burning to the ground if he hadn't sent troops to respond to protests downtown of the city against immigration raids.
If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals.
Confusion around use-by dates on food packaging is leading to increased waste. A study by RMIT shows inconsistent packaging is one of the key reasons people throw away perfectly edible products. Associate Professor Lucas Parker says best before dates need to come with a set of clear instructions for consumers.
Giving them instructions on how to sniff whether the milk is safe to drink, or whether the taste of something is right, or when they have a look at the colour of the food. All of those sorts of instructions would be really helpful.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Good morning to you, Tom Wren.
And to you as well, Jab. We're going to start with some football. And Nazai Wanganeen-Millera has called Taylor Walker to inform him he has no issue with the Crows veteran. There have been reports the out-of-contract 22-year-old wouldn't consider coming to West Lakes because of an incident involving Walker back in 2021. But 5AA understands that is not the case and will have zero bearing on any decision regarding his long-term future. Wanganeen-Millera calling the 35-year-old to make sure he understood he has no ill feeling towards him. Let's stick with footy. It was a massive night at the Hall of Fame Awards last night with Erin Phillips inducted along with Daisy Pearce. Pearce, the 2022 Melbourne Premiership captain and female footy pioneer, was recognised alongside Phillips and modern greats Gary Lyon, Luke Hodge and Nick Riewoldt in being inducted. Pearce, who had to have a year off to give birth to twins, says the grand final win beats childbirth.
It's controversial to say this, but as a mother, it's controversial, but it was the best day of my life. Don't get me wrong, they're the best thing that has ever happened to me, but on technicality, the day itself.
I love it. Audio there thanks to Fox. Well, Socceroo star Mitch Duke has silenced the critics with a man-of-the-match performance in Australia's 2-1 win over Saudi Arabia this morning. Duke scored one and assisted another as the Aussies ensured automatic qualification to next year's World Cup. He says it's an incredibly proud moment.
I wasn't even supposed to be here, to be honest. Matt Leckie got injured and I was a late caller. Got the voodoo doll out, maybe injured Leckie. Nah, kidding. Sorry, mate. But it feels good and probably a good way to silence some of the keyboard warriors as well. Feels good.
Yeah, well played. That audio thanks to Paramount. Jade, that is the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Make your tax time donation count. Donate to the Jodie Lee Foundation to support early detection of bowel cancer.
Morning there. Roads a bit damp for the drive-in, so take it nice and easy. Look out for a 3-car collision West Hindmarsh at the moment. She's on the north-south motorway in Manton Street with delays inbound. Bruce Watermain slowing things up at Vale Park. This one's on Ascot Avenue near Harris Road. Speed reduced, got a lane out of action. And a small bingle at Glenelg East, just opposite Glenelg Footy Oval. Got a camera parked terrace at Bowden. At Specsavers, get 50% off all lens options, including anti-reflective and scratch-resistant ultra-clear super clean lenses. Limited time only, conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
A possible shower and 16 today, a shower or two tomorrow and also 16. They're mostly sunny on Friday and 17. Right now it's 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 8. Wonder if anyone's managed to spot or been past the scene of this crash on the southeastern freeway at White Hill near the off-ramp at Murray Bridge. We spoke about it earlier. Now, there are reports that a truck hit a horse on Adelaide Road. If it's still causing issues, do give us a buzz, 8223 0000 if you've been through the area, or you can text us on 044808 1395. In much more pleasant news, we have the potential for you to be put on the shortlist to win a trip to the Whitsundays. You can fly direct from Adelaide with Jetstar in under 3 hours. Book now at jetstar.com. Now, because we are broadcasting here from 21 Tea Tree Lane this morning, inside the house that's going to be auctioned off for variety. We didn't get to our first clue earlier. So clue number 1 this morning of 3 is this. This place is the discovery of this place happened more than 48 years ago. More than 48 years ago. Clue number 1 there. We'll go all through 3, and once we get to number 3, you can call in on 8223 0000 and get put on the short list. This is the penultimate. This is the second last chance you've got to win the holiday of a lifetime. More clues coming up very, very shortly. It's time for Sean Fuster.
It's time to go around the courts with Sean Fuster on 5AA Breakfast.
It's funny, we've been talking a bit about real estate this morning, and Sean Fuster's been covering a very peculiar sort of real estate story. Sean, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, guys. This is a real estate story that comes with a mystery and international intrigue and all sorts of things. So it must be in a South Australian court with the way that we deal with things here.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, we're looking out of the downstairs bedroom onto the Grange golf course here at the moment, Sean. There's nothing in the way, which is good because we haven't had to bulldoze anything. Just put our listeners in the picture for this extraordinary story.
So 3 years ago, there were 2 salmon shacks standing at Deep Creek overlooking Backstairs Passage with $1 million view. Then, over the months that followed, both of these shacks, which had been there for 100 years, owned by, in one case, a family, the Robertsons, and in another case, like a timeshare group of people that had all committed to keeping in its original state. I'm talking kerosene lanterns, kerosene refrigerators, hundreds of years of photographs, logbooks, memories, things like that. Over a couple of months, both of them disappeared. Barry Robertson's shack, which had been upgraded over the time that his family had owned it to reasonably modern standards, was reduced to a concrete slab, whereas the other shack, the one that was the historic, rarity, had all of its supporting bolts and things removed and then been allowed to blow away in the winds. When Barry was down there visiting, he actually managed to catch a man red-handed coming out of the second shack and said to him, "What the heck are you doing? These are lawfully here. These are legally allowed. We've got permission from the state government to keep them here. We're negotiating long-term leases. This is one of those situations where stuff was built on places that are now Crown land. This is all good to go. What are you doing here?" And this man broke down in tears. That man was George Lavrentiadis, who then insisted, once he was charged with destroying property, that he'd done nothing wrong, that he was innocent, they had nothing to do with it. He finally pleaded guilty, and the question that's been on everyone's lips for the past couple of years is, why did he do this in the first place? Lavrentiadis has no connection whatsoever to the Robertsons, no connection to the timeshare people, no connection to that plot of land at all. Yesterday in court, and we have to stress that this was said in court multiple times yesterday, Lavrentiadis' counsel and Mr. Robertson and the prosecution all said the reason Lavrentiadis did it was because he was paid $5,000 by a real estate agent in Florida, a guy in Miami by the name of Julian Johnston. And he said in court through his counsel that Mr. Johnston wanted the properties removed, wanted those shacks gone, because they obscured the view and would have used his private land that he'd just purchased immediately behind them to build a $2 million house.
Huh. So this Florida guy, he's the actual owner of the land behind it, Sean. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he bought everything that leads up to the where the Crown land starts, and it meant that you had no lawful access through his property to the shacks. So according to what the court was told yesterday, and again, we have to stress for legal reasons, this is what the court was told yesterday, Mr. Johnston refused the shack owners permission to go on his land to get to their properties on the Crown land, and that he told Mr. Lavrentiadis that it's fine, they can go, I've checked with the state government, they're effectively squatting, they're unlawfully there, they can be knocked down. And Mr. Lavrentiadis went, okay, I'll take $5,000, it's COVID, I need some money, I'll do that. And he's told the court that he would like some mercy, please, because he feels his crime is a lack of due diligence. He should have checked with the council, he should have checked with the government before he knocked him down.
Now, the developer, the realtor, should I say, Johnston, he's not on trial, is he?
He's not on trial. He's not been charged with anything. He's not been he's not been accused of anything until yesterday in court. Mr. Johnston has publicly said multiple times he had nothing to do with it. I'm at the moment trying to correspond with Mr. Johnston. Obviously, the time difference is very devilish in that sense, trying to get some comment from him about this matter. But we can say that he has publicly stated multiple times he did nothing with it. So I'll be very interested to hear his reaction to being named in court by not only Lavrentiadis, but Lavrentiadis' counsel, the prosecution, and the victims in this matter. But the prosecution was at pains to point out to Judge Heath Barclay yesterday, this is all background information. You're not here to sentence Mr. Johnston. You're here to sentence Mr. Lavrentiadis, and we say Mr. Lavrentiadis needs to go to jail for this.
So do you think Mr. Johnston, though, over in Florida, Sean, is he going to be part of the trial at all? Because he could shed some light on the backstory.
Well, at the moment he's not, and the prosecution and defence don't seem to have any intention of calling him. Whether he will be part of any subsequent civil matter is the next question, because, of course, these two groups that owned and operated the shacks have lost irreplaceable family memories, irreplaceable historic treasures. All of the items inside were taken by Lavrentiadis. He either burned them or sold them off. So all that stuff is gone in the wind, incapable of being recovered. And both groups have been told that if they want to rebuild the sheds on the Crown land, they now have to bring it up to code, which means each property is going to cost $500,000 to rebuild.
Wow.
So as you can imagine, they're both saying, we're going to sue Mr. Lavrentiadis and we're going to sue Mr. Johnston because as far as we're concerned, you can't, and this is a quote from court yesterday, you can't weasel your way out of this. You destroyed our memories, you destroyed our lives, therefore you're going to pay to rebuild them.
Do you reckon a bloke who was so desperate during COVID that he took $5,000 and knocked down a shack is going to have $1 million in his bank account to build 2 brand new homes?
Well, apparently he didn't even have enough sense to put the mattresses that he stole from the property somewhere else. He kept them in his shed and then tried to return them as a gesture of good faith. But he said, I'm sorry, guys, I'm returning these mattresses to you. I shouldn't have taken them, but beware, they're now rat-infested. And Barry Johnston said in court yesterday, that's pretty apropos, seeing you're nothing but vermin for taking the money in the first place.
Crikey, fighting words.
Yeah, it's an extraordinary story. Brilliant explanation, Sean. What's coming up at Just Lawful this week?
We're back. There's no more football getting in our way, so we are resuming with the tale of David Lawrence, who was allegedly poisoned by Wendy Sue Dent. And if you think the case has been curly so far, it takes a bizarre turn this week as Daniel and I confront the fact that it's very difficult for us to be unbiased, despite our studied practice of removing our bias when it comes to this case, because there's just so much garbage falling from the mouth of this alleged murderer. Lies and claims you just won't believe.
All right, looking forward to it as always. Good on you, Sean.
Great stuff, Sean. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to check traffic thanks to The Big Brunch. Register now because every bite counts. Go to thebigbrunchdrive.com.
Thanks, Will. Still got the odd damp road after overnight showers to take it easy on the buzz into work today. Look out for a three-car collision at West Hindmarsh causing delays inbound. It's on the north-south motorway in Manton Street. Bruce Watermain at Vale Park. Ascot Avenue near Harris Road, got a lane closed there. And a small bingle to look out for Brighton Road, Glenelg East, just near the Footy Club. Cameras at Grand Junction Road, Regency Park and Chief Street at Brompton. The Mercedes-Benz C-Class Sport Edition has arrived and at $92,500 drive away. It's well worth a look. Visit Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and only today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Does your loved one with dementia struggle with agitation or aggression? These behaviours can be challenging, leaving families feeling helpless. Canoxus is seeking participants for a research study aiming to improve treatment for dementia-related agitation, so no one has to feel alone in this journey. If your loved one is 50 or older, has dementia and lives at home, they may be eligible. Participants receive expert care and reimbursement for time and expenses. Visit agitationstudy.com. This research study has been approved by an independent ethics committee.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift.
Right now, there's never been a better time to buy a new forklift from Toyota Material Handling. Score great end of financial year deals across a selected range of new Toyota walkie stackers and reach forklifts currently in stock. Stacked with legendary reliability and productivity and ready to deliver outstanding end of financial year value. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Terms and conditions apply. Offer ends June 30.
BJ Energy, Adelaide's solar and battery specialist, will help you squeeze every bit of energy out of the sun.
That's right, and if there's anything you need to know about the federal battery rebate, how it works and whether you're eligible, the team at BJ Energy are all over it.
They've done the homework for you, which means they can help you get the most out of the battery rebate while it is still around.
And remember, BJ Energy haven't got a room full of slick salespeople pressuring folks into poor quality solar and battery package deals. They're very hands-on, even installing quality systems themselves.
It's this hands-on approach that separates BJ Energy from other solar and battery providers.
Get in touch with BJ Energy now and ask about the federal battery rebate while it's still available. No sales pitch, just straight answers. Visit bjenergy.com.au.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
It can happen at any time, more often than you think. Suddenly, through illness or accident, you could lose the capacity to manage your financial or personal affairs. What happens next? Who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. This year, we're proud to be celebrating 40 years of doing real estate differently in South Australia. Since 1985, we've remained family-owned and fiercely independent, with innovation, integrity and people always at the heart of what we do. While the industry's changed, our values haven't, and we're incredibly grateful to our clients and community for their trust and support. Visit toop.com.au. Toop and Toop, 40 years of family, innovation and integrity.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
11 to 8, broadcasting live from 21 Tea Tree Lane in West Lakes this morning. A beautiful, brand spanking new home built by Commercial and General, overlooking the Grange Golf Course. We're here because this property is going to auction, and all the money raised from its sale will be going to Variety, the children's charity, and a part of that is the selling. And for that, Toop and Toop, as we know, for 40 years have been setting the standard in real estate in South Australia. and kindly, they've donated their services for the purpose of selling this property. So again, all this money is going to Variety. Sav McGill, who's been running around in the background this morning. Bronte Manuel will be the auctioneer from Toop and Toop when it comes to getting this excellent home under the hammer. Bronte, good morning to you.
Good morning. How you doing?
We're well, mate. We're well. Great job by you guys, obviously, being part of what is a tremendous opportunity for Variety to make. And we keep sort of ferreting around. We don't want to say a figure, Bronte. As an auctioneer, I mean, you sort of try and get people interested. You don't want to say what the numbers is. We hope it's a big one. What's the secret? What's your secret, auctioneering-wise? When you've got a property like this, we need it to go for as much as humanly possible. How do you get it there?
Well, I think the secret with anything is, the way I look at it as an auctioneer, I spent my whole football career in and under the packs, and I never really kicked a goal, right? This is my moment where I'm the full forward, and we've got Jenna Nash. She's in and under at the moment, filtering out hundreds of phone calls about the property, and really it's about creating that competition, that momentum, and then on the day, there is obviously a couple of different strategies that we need to run, dependent on the scenario, but a lot of the hard work's already been done.
This has got no reserve when this goes. Is that really rare?
Mate, it is so rare. Normally we're trying to get the reserve to somewhere in this stratosphere. Because every owner obviously thinks their property is maybe worth a little bit more than it is. So to have no reserve, I'm probably going to be more nervous than with a reserve. But look, when we're talking numbers, we're quoting, we think it's going to be in excess of $1 million, probably going to, maybe land 1-1, 1-2. And I'm dancing around because when you don't have a reserve, there's going to be competition, and where it starts, where it finishes, I think is going to be in that vicinity. I think anything sub 1-1. Jamie would probably be the type of person to just buy it back. So
he might as well. Well, you never know, though. You never know, Bronte. Given that it's for charity, there might be someone listening with deep pockets who goes, I'm just going to have an opening bid of $2 million. Well,
wouldn't that be something?
Knowing that it's all going to end up in the hands of the Variety organisation and helping kids with special needs. Somebody might just blow all other potential bidders out of the water.
I think a big haymaker. That'd be brilliant. What's that energy? There's that odd energy guy from the block, right? And he throws all those stupid numbers at people. Yeah. So I'd be up for it. I could start doing my times tables now in readiness for him if he wanted to arrive. But a haymaker would be great because it's an awesome cause. I was actually having a good chat with Sav on the weekend and was talking about actual organisational structure. And he just said, no, it's the kids at the top, and then it goes down from there. And I just by saying that just straight up, I thought, wow, that's cool. It's the kids, and then the organisation is built around that and filters down from there.
Do you get nervous when you being an auctioneer?
No, I don't get nervous. I get more nervous trying to answer the question. I don't get nervous really as an auctioneer. No, I don't. But I tell you what, I auctioned my own house. And
Did you? Oh, really?
I auctioned my own house in 2018. And I wasn't the agent because if someone said they didn't like something, I didn't want to have to, try and get them up against a wall and tell them why it was fine. So I knew that there'd be a personal thing there, but I remember I was all cool. And I walked up the hallway, and honestly, I got lightheaded. I thought I was going to faint.
Yeah.
Like I nearly was going to pass out. And then I was out there, and I remember very specifically there were $1,000 bids, but one person was 90-day settlement and one was 30. And it was going to cost me like $5,000 in interest each month. So each time the 90-day guy would get it, I'd go, come on, no, I don't want. I nearly wanted to say, I'm not accepting your bid anymore. And the 90-day got it. So even though it went for a good price, I was like, the pessimist in me was going, if only I went to the other guy, I would have earned more money. But
that's hilarious.
I knew too much.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Did it make the reserve? Can I ask that?
Yeah, it made the reserve because it's actually interesting. Selling an agent's property, they're actually super conservative on price.
Yeah, right.
Well, they're actually the opposite. So I was super conservative on price, and it was $3,000 off where Jen thought the reserve should be, and where Jen thought the reserve should be, I thought was about 200 more than what it should have. She was a typical owner and I was a pessimist, right?
I was just trying to imagine the scenario, whereas the auctioneer, you had to go and quietly say to the bidders, look, it hasn't reached the reserve, I just need to go and talk to the owner about it. To go and stand behind a tree talking to yourself.
I've got probably one of the worst vendors I've ever dealt with. But Jen was the vendor that definitely thought the property. So in her words, she got $3,000 under reserve. In my world, we got a couple hundred above.
Perfect. Well, that's not too bad. When you go to functions, I've had a crack at doing this, and I'm terrible at it. But you'll see people who aren't professional auctioneers run an auction. What's the number one thing they get wrong? Like if anyone's listening, you're going, for my local bingo night, I'm going to be doing an auction. What's the Bronte manual tip for them to nail it?
I think with charity auctions, it definitely is you play the people, not the product.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you've got a bottle of Penfolds Grange and it retails for $800, well, the minute you sort of hit 800, then you're out for the count. But when you're saying, come on, Mr. Goodings, like, I've obviously, you can see your pay structure online, etc. And if I think you've got a bit of an ego and I say, look, you don't look like the guy that comes second, I'm not sure why you're doing it tonight. You start to push on the ego.
Right.
And then they're sitting at 2,000, got their peacock feathers out, pumping the chest.
That's good.
That's what we sort of look for. Now, when we auction this house, we're talking, we've got a few emergency numbers after there, the zeros, which takes it up into the million region. So we need some pretty big peacocks for me to take that strategy, but hopefully they arrive.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Yeah, well, it's couldn't be a more important cause, and I like your term haymaker. Hopefully we do get a couple of haymakers thrown, because I can't think of a better organisation to do it on behalf of Bronte. It's great that you guys are doing this. We know that you're flat out as a business. It's still going gangbusters locally, isn't it, the property market?
Market is still kicking on. I think the best way to summarise it is that your home in South Australia and in Adelaide has never been worth more. Yeah. There's people saying, was it worth more 18 months ago, 12 months ago in the peak? But no, like right now, it's never been worth more than right now. But look, it's great to be involved, and for us, selling the property and marketing it and covering that side of it, I think is fantastic that we can do it, but I also think it's absolutely minimal in comparison to, Jamie, Louisa and, commercial in general for donating the house.
Yeah, totally.
It feels insignificant in comparison.
It's not insignificant. It's terrific what you're doing. And, doubtless you had a huge price. And, well, I think we're getting another interest rate cut when the bank meets next time as well. We know that's sort of rocket fuel for the market as well. So get in early and get yourself a home that's going to have all of its money go to charity. Bronte, great to have you in, mate. Great to chat with you.
Thanks a lot. I'll get you two boys registered in a moment.
Yeah, we'll get our lucky numbers on our panels. Bronte Manuel from donating their services to this wonderful cause, Variety, the children's charity. Now, I have another clue to give away for the Whitsundays competition. Clue number 2 this morning. You can fly direct from Adelaide with Jetstar in under 3 hours. Book now at jetstar.com.au as we try to find today's mystery location. Clue number 2. It's best seen from a helicopter or seaplane and is only 17 metres in diameter. 17 metres. It's very small. 17 metres in diameter. The mystery location. If you can get it right, after 8 o'clock, you're going to be the second last person on the shortlist with a chance to have an all-expenses paid trip to the Whitsundays. Stick around.
The blackout end of financial year sale is live at Edwardstown Mazda. With huge in-showroom only deals across all new and demo vehicles. Must end June 30. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes, a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. This extraordinary display home will be ready to experience soon in Craigburn Farm. Life's good.
it's even better in a Beechwood home.
Australia's cheaper home batteries program is here, and it's your chance to save thousands on a new home battery system with NRG Solar. With up to 30% off a battery installation, NRG Solar can help you claim rebates worth up to $18,500. Whether you're adding a battery to existing solar or starting from scratch, this is the moment to say goodbye to your power bills for good. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160 and get ready for lower bills and real energy independence.
Wherever you are and whatever you need, the caring collective of women at White Lady Funerals can help you create a meaningful and beautiful send-off. White Lady Funerals. Let our strength help you find yours.
All right, so that'll be absolutely diddly squat. 0. Zilch. Nada.
Buy any new, used or demo vehicle from Wayville Hyundai before June 30 and you could win an entire year of groceries from Foodland on us. Groceries covered, car sorted, more money for what matters. Visit wayvillehyundai.com.au to find out more. T's and C's apply. Licence number T25707. Another great deal driven by Australian Motors.
The very latest news and information. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A possible shower or two, 16 the top with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Jade Robrin.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
An outbound section of Adelaide's Oban bus track will remain closed for several days after a bus veered off the tracks at Clenzip Interchange yesterday. Matt Bowman from the Transport Department says it was a delicate rescue to get the driver to safety.
I understand that the MFS was able to, after sort of securing the bus, to remove him safely from the driver's door. That's my understanding. But look, thankfully he wasn't injured in the incident, and there were no passengers on board because the bus was actually out of service at the time.
A drink driver blew more than 3 times over the legal limit at Eastwood last night. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee says her grey Volkswagen hatch was pulled over on Glen Osmond Road for a mobile driver test.
The driver, a 26-year-old woman from Belair, recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.156, which is more than 3 times the legal limit. She was issued a 12-month instant loss of licence and reported for drink driving. She will be summoned to appear in court at a later date.
Police are investigating 2 suspicious fires overnight. A red Mitsubishi was set alight in a unit complex car park on Torrens Road at Renown Park. Then, around an hour later, a trailer went up in flames on Overland Terrace at Christie's Beach. It's believed both were deliberately lit. A formal investigation is underway into the circumstances behind 9 US correspondent Lauren Tomasi being shot by a rubber bullet during the LA protests. There's mounting pressure for the Prime Minister to hold President Trump accountable while they meet at the G7 summit. Foreign Minister Penny Wong says the government is taking all available action.
We've made the appropriate representations and reached out through the Consul General in Los Angeles, stand ready to provide any assistance she needs. Australia believes in a free media and journalists should be able to do their job safely.
3 days of mourning have been declared in Austria following a school shooting. 8 students and 2 adults were killed and a number remain injured after a former student of the secondary school opened fire before taking his own life. A witness has told Today what he saw.
I saw a lot of students running everywhere and crying, and I went downstairs for a bit to check, and I saw so many police and ambulance and people on the floor.
Qantas has launched an independent review into the safety of aero bridges after a worker fell through a walkway at Sydney Airport, leaving her with lifelong injuries. Jack Hahn reports.
Olivia Hestrovska was looking through a window on an aero bridge when she accidentally fell through a gap, dropping 6 metres. The fall landing her in critical condition. She's now suffering multiple major injuries, some of which she may never recover from. The 51-year-old's family is now fighting for answers, but they may have to wait 2 years for them to come from safe work. The national carrier has responded, saying sorry to its worker and her family. The airline also revealing that they are now working with Sydney Airport to put in place enhanced safety measures, while also hiring independent experts to look at the safety of aero bridges in Australia and across the world.
Now, Now, turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Jade. Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller has called Taylor Walker directly to assure him he has no issues with the 35-year-old regarding the racism saga from 2021. Now, there have been reports the 22-year-old out-of-contract St Kilda star had ruled the Crows out as a potential destination because of Walker's indiscretion from 4 years ago. But 5AA understands Wanganeen-Miller picked up the phone to call Walker last night to assure him that's not the case and that any decision he makes regarding his long-term future will not be impacted by anything that's happened in the past. Meantime, the Australian Football Hall of Fame Awards have been held. It was a big night for South Aussies, with Erin Phillips inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining her father Greg, while South Adelaide Premiership star Peter Darley was also recognised. And Ken Farmer has been elevated to legend status following a remarkable career that included more than 1,400 goals in 224 games for North. Well, Australia has done it and officially qualified for the World Cup in 2026. After conceding early, the Aussies came from behind to beat Saudi Arabia 2-1. Socceroos star Mitch Duke fired Australia into the lead early in the second half.
And it's headed in by Mitch Duke. Australia leads, and surely now that's the goal that will take Australia to the World Cup finals in 2026.
Audio there thanks to Paramount Plus. At the Australian swimming trials here in Adelaide, Kaylee McEwen and Molly O'Callaghan have qualified for the 100-metre backstroke at the World Championships in Singapore next month, while 16-year-old swimming sensation Sienna Tui has taken out the 100-metre breaststroke to make her first senior World Championship team. And in some cricket to finish, Australia's opted for Marnus Labuschagne for tonight's World Test Championship final against South Africa. That match begins at Lord's. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Make your tax time donation count. Donate to the Jodie Lee Foundation to support early detection of bowel cancer.
Dab road to the drive-in, take it nice and easy, and look out for a smash at West Hindmarsh. Getting cleaned up, still got some delays there. It's on the north-south motorway in Manton Street. Another smash to keep in mind at Glenelg East on Brighton Road just near the Footy Club, and a burst water main at Vale Park, Ascot Avenue near Harris Road. Getting busy South Road, Edwardstown with a camera this morning, Glenville Drive at Hackham West. Discover amazing savings at Harbour Town's Get Outlet Sale. Shop big brands at outlet prices this Friday till Sunday. Visit harbourtown.com.au to see sneak peek offers. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
A possible shower in 16, a shower or two tomorrow in 16, then mostly sunny on Friday in 17. Right now it is 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hyundai End of Financial Year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 minutes after 8, coming up this hour, Lynn Arnold, former South Australian Premier, is going to join us. We're going to talk about the moves today as a SCAP panel assessment regarding the development of the second Walker Tower that Lynn Arnold's part of a group that are quite upset about. So we'll be talking more about that development on North Terrace after 8:30 today. Also, Jamie McClurg, the Executive Chairman of Commercial and General, who have incredibly generously donated the house in which we are currently broadcasting from to Variety, the children's charity, who are going to auction it off in, what are we at, the 11th of June, 10 days' time on the 21st, with every single cent going to Variety SA. Now, that even includes everything with regard to the real estate. Toop and Toop aren't charging fees. They're providing Bronte Manual to do the auction for free. Every single cent is going to Variety, the children's charity. Jamie McClurg coming up after 8:30 this morning. Right now, it's time for Breaking at 8.
Well, the continuing upgrade of Jetty Road down at the Bay has become a major headache for local businesses. One of their key objections, aside from the fact that the street still looks like an absolute war zone, I was down there for dinner a couple of weeks ago, and there's bollards that have been installed. I've been given photographs of some of them by local businesses where the bollards are so close to existing car parks that you can't even open the door of your car. On top of that, though, the key issue that businesses and locals are complaining about is the reduction in the number of parking spaces. This in an area where it's already fiendishly difficult to find a park, particularly on warm days when so many people from out of the suburb flock to the area. Amanda Wilson is the Mayor of Holdfast Bay, and we have her on the line now. Mayor, has the council gone ahead, and thanks for your time, has the council gone ahead and decided to cut parking spaces further?
Yes, so as a part of the upgrade, we've decided to go ahead with Concept A. We went out to consultation. We had over 2,000 people respond, and overwhelmingly they wanted to put pedestrian safety as a priority for council. So we're going to be putting in a set of traffic lights at the corner of Jetty Road and Moseley Street. And because we're putting in the traffic lights there, we're going to have to lose 14 car parks from that intersection alone. Then we're going to be losing another 7 car parks up and down Jetty Road because of compliance issues. The road rules have changed in the last decade or two. And then 4 will be lost for greening. So we're losing a total for the whole precinct of 25 car parks, which is less than 1% of all of the available car parks for the Jetty Road precinct. So
isn't the
there's
point, though,
3,000
that
car parks in Jetty Road, and there's already the Partridge Street car park and the top deck there. It's 2 hours free parking every single day, and every single day it's empty. So if you want to come down to Glenelg, go to that car park and you'll have 2 hours free car parking.
What have businesses been telling you about how the council has managed this project?
So this original motion came from the Jetty Road Traders Committee back in 2017. So the traders were really wanting to have an upgrade for the street. There's been, as you would imagine, there's over 330 traders. They've all got differing opinions. One of the traders that was there last night for the council meeting, he wanted us to shut Moseley Square and have it pedestrianised, the whole thing. So there's a range of opinions, but you know, we went out to consultation for over 2,000 people, and overwhelmingly they chose option A, which is keeping Moseley Street, Collie Terrace and Durham Street open and having traffic lights at the intersection there.
How much money has the council spent on this?
So far, the city zone, which is almost complete, so all those bollards are down, we're looking at about $7 million for that section, which is from...
But that's not the total price, is it?
No, we've budgeted $30 million.
$30 million?
And then getting $10 million from the feds. And we've
so the
sought,
federal
the
taxpayers...
state government contribution, but they have not come through yet.
So you're still trying to get even more money from the state government. So that'll make it $40 million. Yeah. You've got $40 million. You want to spend $40 million on this, and you want more money from the state government.
Our community has begged for an upgrade of Jetty Road for years. I remember coming on your program years ago and you agreeing that Jetty Road Glenelg needed to be done up. It was run down. We know that visitor numbers are down significantly from pre-COVID, so we need to invest in our main street. It's the main street for our entire city. It's the economic driver for our entire city, and we need to invest money in it so that we can bring it up to the standard of the rest of Holdfast Bay. And
when you talk about investing money
now, the cost of labour is expensive, and infrastructure.
But when you talk about investing, Mayor, did you do any sort of studies? Did you do an economic study into the impact of the removal of car parking spaces in terms of, you know, deterring people from coming in?
We have done multiple business studies. In fact, you need to do business cases for the government to be able to get federal funding. So, yes, all of those studies have been done. We have debated every single car park that has been removed. We have had workshop after workshop, and in the end, we have prioritised pedestrian safety. And as I said, we have actually brought a few more car parks back into the operation. We're going to be losing 25 car park spaces from the entire Jetty Road precinct. And that's 4 less than what we engaged in. So we've really tried to listen to the community, but, it's compromised.
There's clearly still some anxiety amongst business owners there regarding the car parking issue more broadly. Given what they've raised and the reality that there are going to be fewer parks there, is the council going to have a look at maybe building some more car parks or prioritising some space to become car parking in future?
As I said, there's a top deck at the Partridge Street car park, which is empty every day. It would be great if the people who worked around Jetty Road went and parked in that car park, and that would relieve pressure on the street, because a lot of people who work on Jetty Road park in the precinct, taking up those valuable car parks. So we have in the past run programs where they'd have free all-day parking in that top deck. Unfortunately, we need to have the traders really encourage their staff to go and park there.
Oh, so you're saying it's the business owners that are causing the parking issue?
A lot of the people that park on and around the street work on Jetty Road, and they have a free car park that they can go and park in, and that would relieve some of the pressure on the street.
So $40 million, do you think this is good use of public money, ma'am?
Of course I do, absolutely. A lot of the work has also been stormwater. It's ancient infrastructure under Jetty Road. It's obviously been there for a long time. The stormwater system underneath there has washed away parts of it, so we've had to go in there and shore all that up so it lasts for another 100 years. Just the pavers that we're putting down, those red brick pavers, they get up to over 60 degrees in summer on a 33-degree day. And the Duperana pavers that we're laying, they're 15 degrees less hot in the summer. So it will cool the entire area as well. And the footpaths need to be much wider. As you said, in the peak of summer, there's so many people down there. There's really thick congestion points on that Moseley Square end of Jetty Road. And those footpaths need to be wider so that we can accommodate more people and it be less dangerous. But ultimately, our community has overwhelmingly responded, saying that pedestrian safety must be a priority. We've listened to them, and that's why we're putting in the traffic lights at Moseley and Jetty Road, so it can be safer to cross there.
Holdfast Bay Council Mayor Amanda Wilson, thanks for joining us this morning for Breaking at 8.
Thanks, bye.
Some of the texts are interesting on 0 480 1395. For example, Janet makes the point that Jetty Road, she says Jetty Road's a shambles. It's not safe to try and cross the road to go to businesses. There are no proper places to cross safely. It's ridiculous. Andrew makes the point, and Elkie made this point too. The Partridge Street car park is up the other end of Jetty Road, and Elkie said a lot of the people that like to go there and live in the area are elderly. And she made Elkie made the point that it's not necessarily feasible for an older person to be parking that far away if you want to go down to the coastal end of Jetty Road. And then there's been a lot of feedback too on the text line to the overall cost, $40 million.
Well, I got a text here from one business owner there who says, I haven't seen the mayor once since this started. The whole process has been a shambles with no regard for local business. $40 million wasted. Most traders not happy. I can't get my head around that figure. That is so much money. And the fact that they're still asking for more from the state government. I mean, crikey, no wonder this country's got major debt problems. Seriously. So we've already got a state government here that's careening towards a $48.5 billion debt within the next 3 years to pay for the South Road upgrade, to pay for a hospital that so far the only thing that's been done from what I can gather is they had the smoking ceremony to cleanse the land where the new Women's and Children's Hospital is going to go. We're living beyond our means, and for I know you've got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette, but I don't think the omelette looks like it's worth $40 million so far.
$40 million is a lot of omelette.
Look at this photograph. That's a photograph sent to me from one of the business owners. I'm looking on my phone now of a car that its door is stuck next to this bollard that's clearly been put in by some bloke who went, oh yeah, that's what the drawing says, I'll stick it there. You can't even get out of your car.
It's just
and I want to attract people there.
Michael sent us a text from Blakeview. He says, I'll tell you why people don't go to Glenelg anymore. One Saturday night, I went to pick up my 18-year-old daughter on her first night out. Her friends had all left and she was alone in an ice cream shop. I pulled over for 14 seconds while she jumped in. I was pinged by a fixed camera for stopping in a place that you weren't allowed to stop. Phone to explain the situation, was told, well, bad luck. Haven't set foot in Glenelg since. Keep your thoughts coming through, folks. 8223 both Glenelg residents and people that like to go to Glenelg or used to like to go to Glenelg. We'd love to hear from you as well.
Our good friend Helen, who lives in Glenelg North, says, what a load of rubbish from the mayor. I can't get a park to go shopping at Woolies or Coles. People are parking there all day. 25 parks is going to make a big difference. It's a bloody mess. I am elderly. Good on you, Helen. Thank you.
All right. Keep those thoughts coming in. We'll get back to more of those in a moment. 8223 0000 or 0448 08 13 95. In the meantime, we'll check traffic and take a quick break. Register for the Big Brunch because every bite counts. Go to thebigbrunchdrive.com.
Thanks, Will. A couple of bingles look out from the north-south motorway. One at West Highmarsh. 3 cars involved in this one, just near Manton Street. Another one at Croydon Park. It's just near the Regency Road exit. And Vale Park, Burst Watermain, Ascot Avenue near Harris Road. Getting busy South Road, Edwardstown, with the camera main South Road at Hackham. It's the everyday moments that matter most when your child is ill or injured. You can help family life carry on at Ronald McDonald House. Donate today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
A new battery rebate is here, and it's a game changer. The Cheaper Home Batteries program with NRG Solar makes smart storage more affordable than ever. Eligible homes and small businesses can save thousands, and households could slash power bills by up to 90% with a solar and battery combo. NRG Solar will guide you through and lock in the rebate before the masses catch on. Head to nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. Don't wait. The smart move is to act now.
There was this huge spider.
Really silly place for a letterbox.
Seriously, there were cows all over the road.
At Premier Panel Services, we've heard it all. But the one thing we hear often is, when will my car be ready? In most cases, we can start work straight away, thanks to our state-of-the-art workshop and highly skilled team. Ask your insurance company for Premier Panel Services. With over 45 years' experience, we'll get you back on the road sooner. premierpanel.com.au.
Aussies love the ocean, the sound of crashing waves, the sight of storms over the water. That's what life's all about. And what Ocean Bar and Kitchen are all about, enjoying delicious dishes or just a drink with unbeatable views of Henley Beach from their heated beach balcony or through ceiling-to-floor glass walls.
I love this place. Enjoy the sight, sounds and feel of the ocean, plus, and this is the good bit, the taste of a mouth-watering menu, including pasta, seafood, scrumptious snacks and a huge range of cocktails and wines. And make sure you look up their weekday specials through winter, like their pasta plenty on Wednesday nights.
The food at this place is unbelievable. Add live music on Fridays. It's the perfect destination for your next lunch, dinner, after-work drink or function. They cater for weddings, engagements, christenings and birthdays. Imagine the views at those sorts of events. Ocean Bar and Kitchen is located on top of Henley Surf Lifesaving Club. Enjoy Ocean Bar and Kitchen from 11:30 a.m. till late. Enjoy.
Finding the perfect Volkswagen is easy at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. Even easier during their end of financial year sale. Choose from a massive range of new and demo Volkswagens available for delivery right now. Loads of colours, loads of options. On-site finance and next day servicing. How easy is that? Too easy. Get a great drive-away deal during the end of financial year clearance. Ends June 30. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes after 8, fair to say, the good people of Glenelg aren't overwhelmingly impressed with the new plan to zhuzh up Jetty Road. There's a little bit of support coming through on the text line, but a lot of people aren't happy. Let's go to Steve, who's in Glenelg. Good morning to you, Steve.
Yeah, good morning, boys. Yeah, I'm a local resident. I've got a business that operates from Glenelg. Mate, it's just a joke. You know, 40 million, they're crying out for water, for properties that, you know, that the government hasn't allowed money for, and they've wasted 40 million on this, and that's 40 million that they're talking about. The other thing is, you know, the mayor goes on about the 2,000 people interviewed. Well, if I walked up and down Jetty Road and knocked on every shop door and said, do you want a new shop street and all this, of course you're going to say yes, because it's free. You know, it's the ratepayers that are paying for it, not the shopkeepers.
I think the other thing too, it's a bit like the situation with the Marion Council submissions about Elon Musk and Tesla, and you get all the angry people together and they all put their submissions. Meanwhile, the other 93,500 Marion ratepayers offer no opinion on it because they couldn't care less. I wonder whether the 2,000 people who put these submissions in are actually all just car-hating greenies who just think, well, you know, as far as they're concerned, they wouldn't want any cars in the area in an ideal world. I don't know. It just doesn't... Based on the feedback we're getting from people who work in the area and people who own businesses in the area, the negativity towards the council is overwhelming.
Keep your thoughts coming through. 8223 0000 is the number. Danny in Craigmore? No, we won't go to Danny in Craigmore. Have we got Danny now? Yes, we do. Danny, good morning to you.
Morning, boys. How you going?
Good, mate.
I found what the mayor said is a little bit, I don't know, in what she said. It's not what she said, it's how she said it. It sounded a little bit disingenuous. But what I wanted to say was, now, I'm a truck driver and I've delivered a lot down the Glenelg area, especially Jetty Road. There is literally nowhere to do deliveries in Glenelg whatsoever. So how are these businesses going to survive without stock? You know, as a truck driver, I'm not real keen on walking, you know, a couple of kilometres with a trolley just to deliver their stuff. And if the stuff has to be delivered direct into shop, that's impossible.
Yeah, the top level of the Partridge Street car park's no good if you're dropping off a load of stuff.
That's all I see happening.
Yeah, good on you, Danny. Thank you. Danny in Craigmore, truck driver, on some of the issues making deliveries there.
I sort of think Holdfast Bay Council could have actually benefited from just heading a few kilometres north to your neck of the woods and looked at what happened at Henley Square. Because Henley Square and the Grange foreshore, they're just really elegant, user-friendly examples of places that have grown. They've got new space, but I know parking can be a bit tight at Henley at times, but there's a coherence to it. And Jetty Road it looks like a sort of, like one of those houses that's had 5 different owners. Everyone's had a bit of a crack at renovating. Like, it doesn't work.
The other thing that's becoming clear on the text line is there seems to be a real tension between those people who live within walking distance of Jetty Road as ratepayers, have got one view about how it would best be set up, and there are people that like to go to Jetty Road as shoppers, or people like to go to breakfast and so forth, have a very different view about how they'd like to have it set up. And there seems to be a total gulf between those certain groups of people. Just getting a traffic update on the Southeastern Freeway. Cars broken down in the right-hand lane. The RAA is with them. It's between Bridgewater and Stirling. The outside lane is blocked. And remember, under the new rules, you have to go down to 25 k's an hour if the lights are on, and the RAA are out there fixing up the car. So that's going to slow things up a little bit in the area. It is the, what's the date today? The 11th of June, which means we are 9 days out from our Best of SA Gala dinner. It's next Friday night at Adelaide Oval. And we're celebrating the great local businesses and icons here in South Australia, and in the process, getting listeners to come along and share the big night with us and a celebration of great local South Australian icons. Today, we're celebrating Credit Union SA.
I've popped into Credit Union SA and I'm talking to their CEO, Todd Roberts. Todd, great to meet you. Can you tell me all about Credit Union SA?
It's wonderful to meet you as well, Jane. Credit Union SA has been around in a number of different formats for close to 65 years, previously coming out of Satisfact Credit Union and Power State Credit Union, and forming Credit Union SA around about 15 years ago. So we're very much a South Australian owned and operated enterprise. We want to make sure that we can deliver on our purpose, which is helping South Australians thrive, and we just love being able to help more South Australians around their banking solutions and banking needs.
One of the things I'm picking up on chatting with you, Todd, is it's all about community, that you don't have shareholders that you have to pay out, that you can actually put profits back into the local community. How do you do that?
It's definitely one of the core elements of what we strive to achieve inside of the state. We really do pride ourselves on supporting the community.
Okay, Todd, where are your locations and how do people get an appointment or come in and open an account or talk to you about a loan?
So we're here at 400 King William Street. We've got our branch here as well, but we do a lot of our activity online, and I know that's not for everyone, but we do make sure that we can service every single need that our members want, whether that be online, they can come into the branch and make an appointment, or contact our member experience centre. We can always solve everyone's problems in a very, very short time frame.
Todd, great talking to you. Todd Roberts, who's the CEO of Credit Union SA. Thank you very much for being part of Best of SA.
Thanks, Jane. It's been wonderful to have a chat with you.
And congratulations to Michael from Paralari, who was the first caller through when we played our feature as part of Best of SA this morning. He's got 2 tickets to the Best of SA dinner or next Friday night, and a $100 Hague's chocolate gift voucher as well. Credit Union SA helps South Aussies thrive with banking so they can score more out of life. We see you, SA. It's 5AA news time. We'll be back very shortly. Going from development on the coast to development in the city. Festival Plaza and the Walker buildings there that are going to be the source of some protest today. That's coming up next.
Built like a brick house. Tough as nails. That's Basic Trailers for you. This EOFIS, use code 5AA to drive away with Rego for just $1. Made with 100% Australian steel in Adelaide. Basic Trailers. Basically better.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Here's one for the tradies and weekend tourers. Why blow the budget on accessories when you can get the gear that gets you there for less at TJM? Their end of financial year sale is on now till June 22. Get up to 30% off suspension kits, up to 20% off trays, canopies and ball bars, plus 25% off alloy canopies and 20% off drawer systems. Want to know more and see what else is on sale? Head into TJM Nailsworth and Ranella. Take the lead with TJM.
Now, well, it's fair to say that we all have clutter at home and in the workplace.
Well, thankfully, clutter and mess is no match for Sharman Shelving. Imagine a space where everything has its place and is easy to access. Sharman Shelving just makes life so much easier.
I bought my Sharman shelf just before COVID. No, just at the start of COVID as a garden potting bench. It's been sitting outside. I wiped it down with the chucks the other day. It still looks brand new. Bill, George or Christine, they'll come to your home, office, workshop or shed to measure up, then design, deliver and assemble the perfect storage solution in a great range of colours to suit any decor.
Everyone needs a little Sharman in their life. Call in at 412 North East Road, Windsor Gardens and take a look. In fact, their showroom and office is now next door in the big white building, so make sure you enter via Albert Street. You can jump online as well, sharmanshelving.com.au or take a look on Facebook.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers today. 16 the top with the 8:30 news. Good morning. I'm Jade Robran.
Make RAA approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
The outbound section of the Adelaide-Oban bus track will reopen on Friday afternoon. It was damaged after a bus veered off the tracks at Clemzig Interchange yesterday. Matt Bowman from the Transport Department says the closures will affect outbound passengers.
If they're heading out of the city, that section between Clemzig and Paradise Interchange is closed for a few days. And buses will bypass using the road between Clemzig and Paradise on the way out of the city.
A car went up in flames at Renown Park overnight. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee says it's being treated as suspicious.
Just after 12:30 this morning, police and MFS crews were called to a unit complex car park on Torrens Road after reports that a red Mitsubishi has been set alight. Fire crews extinguished the blaze before further damage could occur to other vehicles, and police believe the fire was deliberately lit.
The State Commission Assessment Panel will make its decision on the controversial Walker Tower 2 development in Festival Plaza this morning. The proposed 38-storey commercial tower behind Parliament House has drawn widespread criticism from heritage, planning and civic groups. Walker's original proposal to construct a 3-storey retail building on the plaza was scrapped and replaced with the high-rise mixed-use tower option. Labor's historic land release is being criticised, with only one of 4 sites currently funded for water and waste infrastructure. SA Water has confirmed that only the Onkaparinga Heights development is funded for water and waste pipelines, while Selix Beach, Dry Creek and Concordia will go without potentially until 2028. The Malinauskas government insists it's addressing past underinvestment and remains on track with its housing roadmap. The Shadow Minister, Michelle Lenzik, says the plan is misleading.
So everybody knows that South Australia is in the middle of a housing crisis, and what this seems is that this great big
historic land release announcement of over 2 years ago now was really just a hoax, and there was no opportunity in the short term for any of those sites to be built on and for people to be moving in.
Tasmanian Liberal Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe has called for a snap election. Tasmania remains in political limbo this morning, with plans for a new AFL stadium in Hobart also in limbo. Constitutional law expert Professor Cheryl Saunders at the Melbourne Law School says they now have to wait for an answer from the Governor.
Has said she'll get back to him in a couple of days, I assume, to do one of two things. One is to get advice about the precedents for this, but more importantly, she may be thinking or making inquiries about whether somebody else can form government without going to the trouble and expense of an election.
There are calls for weight loss medicines to be listed under the PBS to benefit people with schizophrenia. A study from Queensland University has found medications such as Ozempic and Wegovy don't affect psychotic symptoms. Professor Dan Siskind says weight gain can be significant concerns for those with schizophrenia.
And this weight gain can be a really significant concern for people living with schizophrenia. It leads to a lot of stigma, and it often leads to people wanting to stop their medications, which can lead to unnecessary psychiatric hospitalisation.
Australia's primary school students are spending 6.5 hours a day in front of their screens. Macquarie University surveyed 2,000 primary school students in years 4 to 8 and found 1 in 25 had signs of clinical level internet gaming disorder. Brad Marshall from Macquarie University says the addiction to screens is due to their persuasive designs.
And so that's just a fancy term for all the tricks and traps that the tech companies use. Most kids have a developing brain, obviously, and those areas of the brain that try to put the handbrake on those persuasive design elements that some of us adults have, the kids unfortunately don't have access to that.
Make your tax time donation count. Donate to the Jodie Lee Foundation to support early detection of bowel cancer.
Now turning to 5AA Sport. Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you for that, Jaden. As Wanganeen Miller has called Taylor Walker directly to inform him he has no issue with the Crows veteran. There have been reports the out-of-contract 22-year-old wouldn't consider coming to West Lakes because of an incident involving Walker back in 2021. But 5AA understands that is not the case and will have no bearing on any decision regarding his long-term future. Meantime, it's been a big night at the Australian Football Hall of Fame Awards in Melbourne, with Erin Phillips inducted along with Daisy Pearce. Ken Farmer was also elevated to legend status, while South Adelaide Premiership hero Peter Darley was also inducted. An emotional Socceroos captain Matt Ryan says he wishes he could freeze time after Australia guaranteed qualification to next year's World Cup with a 2-1 win over Saudi Arabia. The shot stopper saved a penalty late and celebrated his 100th cap for his country.
Said a couple of times, I think fairy tales come true, so like I said, I stick to what I said pre-match as well. Any cap number that it is that an individual gets is a special one.
Let's go to swimming. 16-year-old sensation Sienna Tui has stolen the show on night 2 of the swimming trials here in Adelaide. She's taken out the 100-metre breaststroke final, meaning she'll be off to her first Senior World Championship meet. That'll be in Singapore next month. Tui has been overcome with emotion after realising a lifelong dream.
You can now call yourself an Australian dolphin.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just so excited because I've worked so hard.
Great stuff. Audio thanks to 9. Action will continue at the pool today from Marion. And that's the 5AA Sport.
That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Tommy. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
A couple of smashes on the north-south motorway giving headaches today. You'll find one at West Hindmarsh near Manton Street, another one at Croydon Park near the Regency Road exit. North Adelaide, a 2-car bingle there, Park Terrace near Hawker Street. And at the Bay, a smash causing delays both on Brighton Road and Diagonal Road. This one just near the Footy Oval causing headaches. Cameras, Chief Street, Brompton and Candy Road, O'Halloran Hill. Shop at 40% off of the Bonds mid-year sale. Stock up on your favourite like socks, undies and sweats in-store and online. Visit bonds.com.au. T's and C's apply. Limited time only. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now checking the 5AA forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
A possible shower and 16 today, a shower or two tomorrow and 16, then mostly sunny on Friday and 17. Right now it's 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of impeccable class and style offer a range of suits by leading Italian brands, including tailor-made wedding packages for the groom and groomsmen. Order 3 tailor-made suits and pay just $799 for each. Order 4 or more for just $749 per suit. Phenomenal value for a quality tailor-made suit. See Ignition for Men for tailor-made wedding packages. 54 Paynham Road, Stepney. ignitionformen.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything. Planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. lubahouse.com.au.
Oh, geez, it's hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au.
Morford. Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21 minutes to 9. We got one more clue coming up for you very, very shortly, and 2 more spots on the shortlist to send someone off to the Whitsundays. You can get there in under 3 hours by booking with Jetstar. You can do it now at jetstar.com. We've given 2 clues this morning. The third means you can call in. It's not too far away. Fuel Watch is coming up. Jamie McClurg as well, broadcasting live from inside the downstairs bedroom of a home that Commercial and General have built, all for the purpose of raising as much money as possible for Variety, the children's charity, when it goes under the hammer in 10 days' time. We'll talk to him about that in just a moment. Speaking of building, the State Commission Assessment Panel will meet just after we get off the air this morning between 9:15 and 11:30 today to discuss the 38-storey Walker Tower 2 proposal for where Parliament House and Festival Plaza is. And it's Festival Plaza that's of particular interest to our next guest and a group of people who will be there to raise their concerns about what this tower would represent. The Save Festival Plaza Alliance. Lynn Arnold, the former Premier of South Australia, is among them. Lynn Arnold, good morning to you.
Morning. It's glad to be on the program.
No, we're thrilled to have you on, Reverend Arnold. So can I just start by asking... Lynn, all right, Lynn, no worries. It's been a while since we've spoken, but it's lovely to be chatting to you again. What is the key concern with the building? Is it purely its height? Do you think the height of it, 38 stories, is long?
It's inappropriate on a number of levels, one of which is the height. You know, I think you referred to it as a huge tombstone. Well, it is sort of tombstone territory with the 2 large towers being built there. It really takes away from the entire amenity of a very special part of South Australia, and that is that whole precinct of Parliament, across the road, Government House, further down with the Festival Plaza, the Festival Centre rather, and then we go across to the Oval and the Cathedral. Suddenly, this is going to be placed in the middle, blocking all of that, casting a shadow valley over a very historic building, which, you know, it wouldn't happen in Canberra. They wouldn't allow it to happen next to Parliament House there. I'm sure the House of Commons would have said something about this proposal there, or the Capitol building in Washington. And yet here we have a suggestion that this is a reasonable idea to overshadow our Parliament House, which is a very historic centre of world democracy, not just Australian democracy, but world democracy.
Do you think there's a compromise that could be had? Are the people who opposed to the building, is there a middle ground, or do you think that the location is such that the plaza should be left as an open public space?
Well, there is an approval for a 3-storey building behind the Parliament House. That's much better than the current proposal. I personally would have preferred a more open space of the whole plaza area there. But at least that three-storey proposal could become a centre for the study of democracy. Now, why I say that is that building and the old Parliament House next door to it were the place that, first of all, in 1857 generated the right for all men to vote regardless of poverty, and in 1892 gave the right of all women not only to vote but to stand for Parliament as well. You know, these world-leading things have happened in that precinct. And so you could easily have a three-storey building behind it where that could be a focus of that centre.
So just to be clear, Lynn, that three-storey proposal, that's already been approved. So we're either getting that or the 38-storey one that's going before SCAP today. Hasn't that already been... Haven't the government already committed to that being a retail space? So there's not really any prospect of it being some sort of, testament to democracy, is there?
The extent to which government is committed at all to anything is still an open question. I noticed that the Premier did not commit, for example, with this megalith building that's being proposed, any commitment to the government taking any space in it. And so, indeed, the very viability of that building is going to be in question in a city that already has lots of office space available. And so the Walker Corporation are going to be wanting to have some long-term tenants come in there, and the state government is not going to be one of them. What happens with the three-storey one? Well, that's still open to debate about what could happen there. I think we've got to be a little careful about just how much we open up to retail activity when we have plenty of retail space in what is Australia's preeminent mall, London Mall.
As a former Labor Premier, Lynn, are you still involved with the ALP, and have you been able to get in touch with any of your erstwhile colleagues, comrades, to have a word in their ear, or do you think that the Malinowskis government has been lost to the development lobby?
Oh, no, they certainly haven't been lost to the development lobby. I mean, look at what Peter did over the Cranker, over the Crown and Anchor. I think that was wonderful stuff. And we're going to see some real changes there. And it still, in that case, didn't stop a development taking place, but it has preserved the facility. I'm hoping he will step in and do the same here, saying this building is inappropriate. We do not need it there. We have plenty of space in the CBD itself where it could go, and also plenty of existing buildings which have space for tenants as well. So I'm hoping he'll step in if SCAP does approve it this morning, and we don't know what SCAP's going to do. Problem is their window of opportunity is pretty narrow as to what they can do, and that's really somewhat unfortunate. But if they approve it, then I hope the state government will be wise, as they have been in other situations, and take something which is something they've inherited. I accept that, but do the right thing with it.
Do you think those hopes might be forlorn, though? Because I'm not trying to verbal the Premier, but from memory, I think he's actually been bullish to the point about over this project that he's actually described it as a coming of age for Adelaide.
Well, I think that there may be certain times when you have to change the rhetoric of what you say, but I've seen the way Peter's operated, and I think receives advice, he hears what the community says, and I don't know what feedback you're getting, but I can tell you that I can count on the fingers of one hand the people I've heard that I've been in contact with who actually like this idea, or at least are agnostic about it. But the people who, every time I talk about it, to say, that is an awful proposition. Overwhelmingly, the people I speak to say they do not like it. This would not be a coming of age. This would be a downgrading of a very historic and aesthetically very pleasant precinct.
Stay on the line, Lynn, because we're going to go from one former Premier to the current Premier. We were just speculating on air as to what the current Premier's position is. Peter Malinowskis has called in. Premier, good morning. Thanks for the surprise call. What is your position on this?
Well, I've got an enormous amount of regard for Lynn. He's a great South Australian and been a significant contributor to the state, and his value system almost always tends to align with mine. But on this one, I'm inclined to disagree, and the reason why I say that is twofold. First thing is the three-storey building, which was contractually locked in by everybody, by the former state government, so that is to say, without a change to the contract, Walker Corp were going to build a 3-storey building. That 3-storey building was the entire width of the Parliament House. And the consequence of that would be that if you're in Festival Plaza, you would not have any vista or view of that northern side of Parliament, which is aesthetically very impressive. The taller building that we have done, the compromise has been a smaller footprint on the plaza itself, which then leaves more of that heritage facade of Parliament exposed. And then the height, well, yes, the height obviously brings with it a greater degree of presence on the plaza, but it also means a lot more people. And all the professional advice that the government has received in respect to this says that without people in a plaza, what you end up with is a wasteland, which we would do well to remember was exactly what we've had at the back of the Parliament House for decades. That Hayek Plaza was a wasteland that was allowed to go to rack and ruin, principally because it didn't have people in it. By having a taller building and all of the hospitality offerings that will be underpinned commercially by that, you'll have a more activated plaza with more aspects of Parliament than what would be the case with a 3-storey building. And those reasons combined have what has led the state government to be supportive of this proposition, because it will improve the skyline and the views of our city, particularly if you're travelling in on the plane looking at the left-hand side of the window rather than seeing the Stanford, which is an old building, and a plaza that's empty. You'll have people and a new architecturally significant building.
Well, we'll know by about 11:30 when SCAP is likely to wrap up its determination. Former Premier Lynn Arnold and the Premier Peter Malinauskas, thanks for joining us this morning.
Much appreciated. Well,
sounds like we've got two quite implacable positions there.
It's going to be a big debate. It's going to take place in the next half an hour. It'll all begin, so we'll learn more about that one over the course of the day. Time for Fuel Watch. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA Road Service. Some servos are up at the $1.99 mark. There are some that have jumped up significantly, but you can still get it pretty cheap. $1.55 at the BP on Goodwood Road at Wayville. $1.53 at the Shell OTR on North East Road at Collinswood. And $1.49 along Grand Junction Road through Rosewater. Diesel, the best, is pretty good. $1.55 in Largs North there on Victoria Road. Let's check traffic and come back with more in just a moment. Register for the Big Brunch, because every bite counts. Go to thebigbrunchdrive.com.
Morning there, got a nasty smash at Seaford causing big delays this morning. The smash is on Main South Road near Seaford Road. Really big delays back to Victor Harbour Road at the moment. Also delays with a crash at Croydon Park on the north-south motorway near the Regency Road exit. And down the bay, got a crash Brighton Road just near the Footy Oval. Big delays back to Diagonal Road too. Cameras, Beach Road, Hackham West and Candy Road, O'Halloran Hill. You wouldn't operate a chainsaw blindfolded, so why dig without searching before you dig first? If you don't, you're digging blind. Search before you dig online every time. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Signs you may have big D envy. You've been invited to a mate's house to watch the footy, but you decline. Another mate's having a birthday bash. You make up an excuse not to attend. And finally, you feel like your partner is comparing what you have to what your mates have. Avoid Big D envy. Get in touch with Big Difference Home Improvements. From outdoor blinds to stunning verandas, pergolas, timber decking and carports. Big Difference Home Improvements will change your life. BigDifference.com.au.
Right Price, Adelaide's best in heating and cooling, has risen to new heights. Literally, Right Price are now your roofing people too. Same exceptional service, value and quality. From total roof replacement, including tiled roof installation, to tile roof repairs, cleaning and painting. And for peace of mind, a rock-solid quote. So the only surprise you'll get is how magnificent your roof and home looks. Do it right. Visit rightpriceroofing.com.au.
You can get your roof right at Right Price.
Well, here's some breaking news. Chai lattes and a chocolate donut is good for you. Maybe not when it comes to calories, but it is good for the soul. Cafe Hoppability in Fullerton is operated by Holistic Care SA and provides meaningful and rewarding jobs for keen workers who live with disability. If you're in the Fullerton area, make Cafe Hoppability your go-to cafe. They also do catering for corporate lunches and functions. It's a great option for all the local businesses in the east. And remember, when you choose Cafe Hoppability, you're doing a generous deed, so you can grab a second donut guilt-free. Next lunch break, or if you need catering, do something that's good for you and others. Cafe Hoppability, Fullerton Road, Kent Town, just up from the roundabout.
Doing day-to-day things online has made our lives easier. Paying bills, shopping, banking. It all makes perfect sense to do online. But what doesn't make sense is doing your will online. It's fraught with potential problems and can leave a mess behind. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes properly. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industry Sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA-engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big, tough, or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industry Sale. On now.
Steinborner Automotive in Gawler, Barossa and Clare has always been well worth the trip, especially with their end of financial year sale on over 500 new, used and demo cars, including a great range of new and demo Mitsubishi Tritons at heavily reduced prices. Plus, they're offering an additional $1,500 trade-in bonus on all trade-ins. Head to Steinborner Mitsubishi in Nuriutpa or view the whole range at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive, it's well worth the trip.
Hyundai end of financial year sale is on now. Jump into the Tucson from $39,990 drive away at your participating Hyundai dealer.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
6 to 9, time for our third and final clue in our Whitsundays competition. You can fly direct from Adelaide with Jetstar in under 3 hours. Book now at jetstar.com. Looking for a location, second last chance to get on the short list. On Friday, we announce who it is that will be jetting off to the Whitsundays. This is the easiest third clue we've ever had. This place is part of a reef and has a stunning natural formation in the shape of a heart. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but you might be able to get it just on the strength of that, having heard no other clues or indeed knowing what the competition is. So that's how easy that clue is. 8223 0055. Get calling now. In the meantime, we're joined here at the bed on the ground floor of this magnificent home at 21 Tea Tree Lane in West Lakes by the man who built it, the CEO of Commercial and General, Jamie McClurg. Jamie, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good, Jamie. For people that are just tuning in, why are you guys gathering around a bed?
3 blokes in a bedroom. What could possibly go wrong?
Sounds like a weird niche podcast.
I didn't think I was going to be hanging out in the bedroom this morning with a couple of blokes.
I thought it was particularly exciting when you said you might do this interview from within the bed.
Yeah, but you've taken up with all this gear.
Yeah,
so.
there's too much technical equipment on there. But this is all because we're here because of your remarkable generosity, because you've donated this home to Variety to auction off with the help of Toop, with every dollar going towards that wonderful cause, Variety, the children's charity. How did it come about, Jamie? Why'd you want to give to this group?
Well, I think I got conned into going on a Variety 4-drive challenge once by Mark McGill and the guys, and it sort of becomes addictive after a while. I think anyone who works with Variety gets that addiction to help out. So we've been helping Variety out for a number of years, and then we came up with the idea in the office of, well, why don't we just give a whole house? So Variety really during COVID suffered from basically getting next to zero donations, so they had a big sort of hole in their budgets and those sorts of things. And so I asked Mark how much it takes to run in a year, and so we came up with the concept of plugging the gap.
It's a pretty generous gift, though, Jamie. Like, don't sell yourself short. Like, at bare minimum, $1 million, you'd think, based on what Bronte Emanuel was saying earlier.
He better get more than that. I reckon he's got to get about 1.2. There's a lot. Put the pressure on Bronte, mate.
Well, we were saying that, and he used the term haymaker. Hopefully there'll be someone, given the importance of the cause that all of this is raising money for, maybe someone will come in with a massively over the odds bid. 1.5, 2.
There's been a couple of people in Variety that have bid for boxes of nothing just to help the charity out that we've seen. If they can do that, then that's great. So we'll see how it goes.
This development, though, it's actually a big debate at the moment about new land release, urban sprawl at the peripheral ends of town, Roseworthy, Aldinga, all the building heading towards Murray Bridge, and then, a lot of the urban infill. I reckon this is the exact example of how you can do something really elegant and clever, where you've got these perfectly designed, low-maintenance homes with all of this green space here, looking over your shoulder there at this wonderful golf course. Like, it's a really crackerjack reimagination of what for years was just the place we used to come to go to the footy.
Well, this is the spot where you used to have your sausage and park your car. So, it's a great one. I think that the West Development's probably got about 3 years left to run. We've got some more townhouses and apartments to deliver here. We've got, obviously, an announcement that we've got with Junction to do some affordable housing as well there. So that's a pretty important thing that's close to our hearts as well. But, I'll say affordable living is able to be achieved by those who just get on and do it. There's a lot of talk that happens in our industry. I just need to see people build things.
Well, the Prime Minister yesterday at the press club made the point that it's time to peel back the red tape and let people build and develop. That must have been music to your ears.
It is, but if you look at it maybe just in a South Australian context, the demand is that we go from building 11,000 houses a year to 13,000 houses. So call that an 18% increase. We're not going to see an 18% increase in the workforce like that occur. So it's a relative impossibility, and it's even more so impossible when you think about it in the context of it takes more man hours these days to build a house than it did back in the 70s, just because of some of the things we do that could be reconsidered.
Which is crazy, given automation and technology and everything that we've got at our disposal some 50 years after that point. Ever been to the Whitsundays, Jamie?
I have been to the Whitsundays, yes.
I won't ask you if you got it based on the location based on our most recent clue. That duty will go to Phil in Lockleys. Phil, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Do you know the secret location, Phil?
I'm hoping it's Hart Reef.
I think you're absolutely right, Phil, and you're on the shortlist, my
brilliant.
friend. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Friday
Thank
morning,
you very much.
you're out. The winner of the Whitsundays competition, thanks to Jetstar. You can fly there in under 3 hours, jetstar.com. One more chance. Stay listening tomorrow morning. 3 more clues. You can come and see this great house that Jamie built later today. There's an open inspection opportunity. And then in 10 days' time, on the 21st, it will go under the hammer, and all that money will go to Variety, the children's charity. Thank you so much, Jamie, for chatting with us, mate. And thank you so much for this remarkable initiative and unbelievable level of generosity. We appreciate it.
No worries. We'll hope to see a few people out in the balcony here next time Live Golf is on. They can look at the green out there and see it all happen.
Absolutely.
What a spot.
Good on you, Jamie. Always love to have catch-ups, mate. Thank you.
Well, that is all from us on this Wednesday morning. Stick around. Graham Gooding's back in Hindmarsh Square next.
Coming up next on 5AA, the stories that matter to Adelaide with 5AA Mornings. Get involved in the conversation. Call 8223 0000. Listen in crisp, clear digital sound. Tune in with the 5AA Player app.
I can't manage my pain. My pain manages me.
Too many of us suffer in silence with chronic pain from irritable bowel syndrome and endometriosis. But the search for a remedy is very close.